Hello, everyone. Michael Jordan fans are the best. And today we're going to be talking about the absolute bull, the no bull to, or, excuse me, frankly is, or other opinions that we have on it. First, we'll welcome Politicus Rex up here at the top right. How you doing today?
All right.
We've got Sports and Fitness Rants down at the bottom, Robin.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Once again, we must continue to set the record straight, y'all. What's up, everybody?
What's up? And we got Hoop God. I don't know if you're still there. He's having some technical issues. He's changing over. Are you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm still here, Nart. Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
Absolutely. So how about this? So first, and for the people that were anticipating NMB Sports coming back, he said he had some last minute thing come up. I know I had promoted him being here, so I apologize for that. But he had some come up at the last minute. But first, we initially were going to do a different subject, but Robin brought up this great point with this new thing in the news coming back about the No Bull Tour. So how about we start with you? What do you think? Why do you think they're doing this No Bull Tour, and what do you feel about it?
Well, see, once again, guys, just what we're talking about, everybody. Once again, everybody in the chat, man, what's up to all you guys out there? Listen, man, this quote-unquote No Bull Tour, this to me seems like a cash grab for a Scottie Pippen, a Horace Grant, and a Luke Longley. Now, when we think about these three players, I think we should focus mostly on a Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant, because for me, those are the two players that I feel are driving this mostly. For me, Luke Longley has always come across as a guy who has had class. I've always respected Luke Longley in the way that he's always, carried himself and conducted himself. So for me, this seems out of character for a Luke Longley, because if we're being real here, Luke Longley has no business being upset about anything or feeling slighted in any way. I know a lot of people were saying that he wasn't mentioned enough or he wasn't given his just due in the Last Dance documentary, because I believe that's what a lot of this comes down to. And I think today, we should talk about a lot of these things, man. And not only just, like I said, what these guys are doing this for, but we should also go back in time and highlight many instances throughout the careers of all these players that Michael Jordan gave these guys their just due. Once again, the people, the fans, we gave Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, Luke Longley. These guys got their just due. They were appreciated by the fans for their roles. So I believe that they're doing this for money, for more fame, like a lot of people are doing things these days, right? No one really seems to have any care for things like integrity, honor, any respect, any of those things anymore. People have thrown those out the window. Now it's all about the fame. It's all about the money. So I believe these guys, because what are they trying to do here? They're trying to tell us that they're setting the record straight. That's what they're trying to say. That's why they're calling it the No Bull Tour, because they're saying that the documentary was in fact bull. So yes, I believe they're doing it for the fame, man, for the money.
Rex, what do you got to say about this?
Well, like Robin said, it's obviously a money grab. I mean, if they're charging for people to get into this, they're not just putting out their own like response documentary of how they saw it and then putting it out for free on YouTube or something. They're actually doing a tour in person where you pay to go in and then pay for autographs or whatever else. So it's obviously a money grab. I think Luke Longley being on it is the only thing that gives it credibility, because he was left out of the Last Dance. So he's the only one that you could say legitimately, hey man, I want to be heard on what I experienced through it, right? So he's the only one that has a legitimate I don't want to say gripe, because it's not a gripe. It's just they didn't really include anything with him. So if he wants to go out and say, here's what it was like for me, okay, that's a legitimate thing, right? But Jordan and Grant, they've had cameras in their faces practically anytime they want. All they got to do is walk out of their house, right? And someone's there. They can voice their opinions about it at any point, any time, and any day. Luke Longley's on the other side of the planet, which is why he wasn't in the original documentary. But Luke Longley's never been that kind of guy, to my knowledge. Luke, his career ended because of injuries. So for all you in the chat saying that he was a scrub and all of this, how long did y'all play? He played like a decade in the NBA, and it only ended because of injuries, or he would have kept playing in the NBA. Dude was a very, very good player. Was he a dominant big man? No, but he was a totally competent NBA player for a long time. But it's obviously sour grapes. It's obviously, a response. And I think it rather interesting that Last Dance came out almost 4 years ago, and they're not doing this until after Jordan takes a step back, selling the team, and is silent about all this because he doesn't have to say anything. Then they come out with this. If this was such a grievous error, why wasn't this tour? Why didn't this originate in 2021 or 2022?
Absolutely. Real fast, Hoop God, before you get on the line and respond to what you think about the No Bull tour and what Rex and Robin had to say. I want to thank Pierre for the $5 super chat that he sent me. I appreciate your your continued support. You're a valued subscriber to the channel, and I appreciate you constantly coming to the live stream and sharing your points. And we have to hear your Charles Barkley one-on-one story sometime in the near future. I'm sure that's a great story. Anyway, Hoop God, what do you think about all this?
So when you start to look at how things start to play out, right? I always like to ask myself, what's the ulterior motive? What's the end game? Like what does a person or these particular people have to gain? Because you don't just wake up and just, oh yeah, I'm just gonna start talking bad about Michael Jordan, blah, 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 blah. And when I look back on it, I came to the conclusion that, damn, Scottie Pippen, you were pretty much a double agent. Like, for the most part, you were PC. Oh yeah, Michael Jordan this, Michael Jordan that. But deep down inside, you harbored a lot of resentment, a lot of jealousy for a man that pretty much played a significant role in helping you win 6 championships. Now, I'm saying it to say this. Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech, I always go back to that. He pretty much cemented Scottie Pippen as an all-time great with his quote, "You cannot mention Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen." That right there, Pippen, you shouldn't have anything else to complain about. I go a little further. Scottie Pippen gets inducted the very next year. It's no coincidence Michael Jordan is the one who introduces him to the Hall of Fame. So I'm like, okay, The Last Dance comes out. The only thing Michael Jordan did was just hold you accountable, in which he did not lie. Pippen was being selfish when he sat out and was pouting because he felt like he deserved to take the quote-unquote shot. But remember, Pippen always said he's a team player. But yet you're pouting about taking a shot that you cannot even hit. You don't even practice that shot. Tony Kukoc was a much more clutch player. He wanted to prove himself while Jordan was gone. Okay, got it. Now we fast forward to today's time. I'm looking at it like this. Michael Jordan doesn't have anything to gain by bringing up Luke Longley, bringing up Horace Grant, bringing up Scottie Pippen. However, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, these guys would have a lot to gain by bringing up Michael Jordan. Why? Because his name, it resonates. It's clickbait. Oh, wait, what did he say this time? So I had to go actually sit down and just look at a little bit of this whole No Bull tour. And I'm hearing some of the stuff Scottie Pippen saying. I'm like, okay, so Pippen is basically coming up here regurgitating everything he's been saying since The Last Dance. But this is the one thing that just found me like it. I looked at it like, wait a minute, Horace, what? You don't like Michael Jordan. You're upset at Michael Jordan. Whatever you feel, why are you wearing Michael Jordan shoes? That makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever, other than it's a money grab. Because my thing is this. If I, quote unquote, don't like a guy or I am not fond of a guy, I'm definitely not wearing any shoes that are made by him. So when I see Horace Grant up here talking, I'm seeing through him. I'm like, okay, so he getting up here putting a front on because he want people to believe that he feels this way, but yet You're wearing his shoes. And this is another thing I'm thinking, like, how come nobody in the crowd say, hey, Horace, why are you wearing Michael's shoes? Because that'd be me. I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you those questions. Nobody else will. You feel so much harbor and resentment, but yet you got the man's shoes on. Nah, that ain't making sense. Like the young kids say, that math ain't mathing. But as far as Luke Longley, like Rick said, Luke Longley was a very high draft pick, I believe, by the Timberwolves. And just keeping it basketball, I think you have to be drafted into the right situation, or the organization has to build around your strengths. And I believe Luke Longley was a guy who had, I would say, a modicum of today's era, like kind of like the stretch shooting big man, because he had like a little nice 10 to 12-foot jumper. But with the triangle offense, of course, they ran that through Jordan and Pippen. He pretty much had to kind of play more of a defensive presence, rebounding, shot blocking. But I noticed Jordan would always try to get him involved early on in the game, to get him in rhythm. Now, whatever reason he was left out of the Last Dance, that's beyond me. I can't speak on that, but I know whenever they did like a separate part of the Last Dance, Jordan spoke highly of Luke Longley. I mean, he didn't say anything to me that would garner him linking up with Pippen and Horace Grant to do this No Bull tour, other than, again, the money grab, trying to put his name out there. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, the society that we live in, which a lot of people don't, well, I guess some people have came to the conclusion that we live in a capitalist society. So if you don't put yourself out there, you don't have nothing to gain. So when I look at all of this, there's no other rhyme or reason other than they feel slighted to a certain degree, but all in all, the end game is, hey, let's use Michael Jordan name to make money. So if we're just going to be all the way 100 and be honest, hey, they need to give Michael Jordan 10 or 20% of their proceeds, because without him, they're not even getting nowhere near half the attention that they're garnering right now with this tour. So that's my take on that one.
All right, real fast. We've got Uncut Hoops in here. I know that we've asked you before, and you're welcome to come join the panel again. The people say they want you on the panel. That's fine if you don't want to come on today. I know you said you might want to come on in the future, and right now is the future from the last time that you said that. If you'd like to come on, I'll go and I'll drop the link, and you can come on if you'd like. Uncut Hoops. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of the show, but welcome. Yeah. So for me, my take on all of this is pretty much the sentiment of what all you guys are saying, is that these guys are just trying to get some money out of this, and they're using Michael Jordan's name because he is the draw. And Scottie Pippen started it with his book. He started the hate speech, whatever, against Michael Jordan due to the Last Dance, saying he was unfair to him specifically, let alone other people on the team. Now, I don't know what was said within what's been said so far on this tour, but the only thing that I could see that they're going to actually say is Michael was a jerk, and essentially what they've been saying, like Hoop God was saying. I can't see them going and saying anything too crazy. They might go low and say, hey, he did something uncharacteristic once, you know what I mean, just to sell a ticket. But other than that, I have no idea. The real fact, he's down here, right here. He's right here. This is a panel show, so it's not all equal. Yeah, actually, if y'all want to let me know, do you guys prefer it this way, or do you want to see everybody equal size like this? Or do you want to see, I'm just going to take a mid break, or do you want to see it more like this? Well, now I'm all the way out the camera. That's weird. But let me know what you guys think. Anyway, yeah, I think in total, I just think this is good for the people that are actually talking. But yeah, so with that said, I don't think they really have anything that they're going to say that is not typical of what's been said lately, like all of you were saying. I don't think there's nothing that's going to be that's going to be original that hasn't been said by Scottie Pippen, in my opinion. Like I said, other than these low-hanging fruit situations that, Michael did something, uncharacteristic of what people know of Michael Jordan. Where do you see this going in the long run, Robin? Do you think that this is going to have any negative impact to Michael Jordan's legacy, or do you think this is going to improve the icon of Scottie Pippen, Luke Longley, and Horace Grant? What do you think is going to be the end state out of all of this?
Well, a couple of things that we need to understand off the top. Number one is that what these guys are trying to do with the slander or whatever it is, they're giving their point of view. Like Rex said, they're speaking their truths, their point of view of their association, their dealings with Michael Jordan being on the Bulls in the 90s, whatever the case may be. They seem to be missing the ship has sailed on the fact that I think what they're trying to do is trying to really make the fans of Michael Jordan or the fans of basketball in general to somehow turn on Michael Jordan because he wasn't really a nice guy to his teammates, and he may have been an a-hole, a jerk, all of these words. They really believe that has anything to do in the grand scheme of Michael Jordan's greatness or his legacy. No one cares about these things. If Michael Jordan was rude to Scottie Pippen, if he punched Steve Kerr in the face, you'll hear a lot of these detractors bring these things up as if it means anything in the grand scheme of Michael Jordan's greatness. A lot of that points to Michael Jordan's competitiveness and the fact that that is what made a lot of them who they were. Guys like Luke Longley. When they say Luke Longley's a bum, and Rex said he's not a bum. No, Luke Longley's not a bum. Luke Longley was a journeyman. He was a role player journeyman in the NBA. He played for a certain amount of seasons. He was a serviceable big man who could pass the ball pretty good for a guy his size. So he was able to stay in the league for a while, but he was a journeyman. Michael Jordan maximized his time with Luke Longley. When these guys say these things now, they really act as if we care what they're saying as far as Michael Jordan and his personality. What did Michael Jordan say in The Last Dance? People see this, they might think that I'm a tyrant. They might say I wasn't a nice guy. But the true fans of basketball, Michael Jordan fans, people who watched basketball in the 90s, you got a sense of Michael Jordan by the end of his career that he wasn't really a nice guy. We understood these things as it pertains to his relationship with his teammates and the way he approached the game. Michael Jordan knew what he had to do. Like he said, he paid the price of leadership. So all these years later, what these guys are doing, this is part of Michael Jordan paying that very price. The price of the leadership not being very, viewed maybe, so to speak, all these years later by Horace Grant or Scottie Pippen. And one more thing I want to mention that we need to remember also, as it pertains to all these things going on. We must remember and keep in mind that Michael Jordan was somehow able to win despite all of this stuff going on behind his back. I posted something on my channel about a couple of days ago. It was an old magazine, a Sporting Times or something like that. And in that magazine was an article based off an interview with Horace Grant. And in the interview, he was bashing Scottie Pippen. This was during the 1993 NBA season. He was literally calling Scottie Pippen arrogant and saying that he couldn't handle the fame anymore. Now, all these years later, Scottie Pippen's acting like he didn't get the fame or he didn't get the shine. And Horace Grant saying he was acting arrogant back then. Horace Grant also said that he felt Phil Jackson was trying to control him. These are the kinds of things that was going on between Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant and Phil Jackson and Jerry Krause. And still in all, Michael Jordan was able to win 6 championships. Let that resonate.
All right, Rex, what do you got to say about this?
Well, it's supposed to be a response to The Last Dance, right?
Well,
like a direct response to the documentary. Isn't that what they're advertising it as?
Real fast, Rex. I don't mean to interrupt. I'm only interrupting because you were just starting and I saw this come in. Roland Curtis, I believe you super chatted me with this. If you did, thank you. Let me know if you've super chatted it to Robin otherwise. But you say they'll probably blame the late Jerry Krause incident and the Ring of Honor all on Mike Jordan, even though it was clearly Mike Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Yeah. I don't really get that either, just for that being said, that, it's not like Michael Jordan was the only one that didn't show up, although I think he should have shown up. But that's, neither here nor there. But yeah, he wasn't the only person that you can say didn't do the right thing. So, but I want to say thank you. If you did super chat me, I think you did. So if not, if you, I guess I'll thank you for, I think it was for me because it would say paired. I think I figured that out. Anyway, Rex, yeah, sorry. but yeah, it's supposed to be in direct response to The Last Dance. You're right.
Then what does Grant have to do with it? Because he wasn't even on the team then.
They did the whole 6 championship years, or really his whole time in Chicago. But yeah,
okay. Because I don't get that. But there's just so much collateral, I guess is the word, stuff, going on around it, that, I mean, The Last Dance, it was made for a purpose. It was released when it was released for a purpose. It was propaganda. They all are. That's why they're made. It to act like they were so unjustly treated. And to me, it's the cash grab of now with LeBron being called the GOAT by so many different, people and situations. It's a lot of the, how do you want to put it? It's a lot of the, it's their last chance to be relevant, if you will, I guess is the way to look at it, because now that Jordan has stepped away, he's no longer he's no longer directly involved in the NBA. He's not responding. He's not putting his thoughts out there. He's just doing his thing with NASCAR, and then, he's with his family. If he's not relevant by choice, then these guys are not relevant by association, if you understand what I'm saying. I mean, soon they're going to start talking to LeBron's teammates. They're not going to continue to stick microphones in Jordan's old teammates' faces. You know what I mean? Time moves on. And this is like they're in their 50s, 60s. This is their last chance to be relevant. No one's, in my opinion, that's what I see. But what is there to bash? I mean, I haven't watched The Last Dance. I got through most of the first one, and how they represented the shot against Georgetown. I was like, okay, I see where this is going. I never bothered. But I'm not a fan. So the documentary wasn't made for me, but I just don't see where other than to get cash, what are they trying to prove? Are they trying to say that Michael Jordan was arrogant and a lot of times a jerk? Absolutely, he was arrogant and a lot of times a jerk, and so were pretty much every other super ultra successful person on the planet. I mean, that's not a and you'll hear people talk about the punching Steve Kerr and leadership and all that. That is the most misunderstood situation. If you actually read his book, Phil Jackson told Steve Kerr to cheap shot Jordan in the practice, in the scrimmage. He wanted to see how much Jordan would take, how his fire was coming back. And Kerr did what he was told. He went, and he was giving Jordan the business, and Jordan didn't put up with it very long and responded by punching Kerr in the face, to which Kerr did not go down, and Kerr punched Jordan back, and they had to be separated. No big deal. Any of y'all that have played on any real sports team, it happens practically every practice. I mean, you get into it because that's just what brothers do. You get in there and you're that's just how you go at it. I got punched many times. So what? It's part of it. It's that ultra competitiveness and that trying to get that little bit of an edge. That is the most misrepresented. And I'm not a Jordan, I don't want to say not a Jordan fan, because I loved watching Jordan. I had Jordan's poster on my wall. I had his first Air Jordans. But, it's just, if there are legitimate gripes if you want to argue why he wasn't perfect. But to do an entire tour trying to list them, It just to me seems kind of, I don't know if it's comical or sad.
I think both. Hoop God, what's your take on this?
Hey, so let me shout out Aqua Lord Clue. He gave the perfect label for this. It's called The Last Chance. So Aqua Lord, salute you to that one, man. You need to copyright that because that's exactly what this is. This is the last chance. But coming back to the topic, so I'm glad Rex brought up that situation because that's indeed how it played out. Phil, quote unquote, the Zen master, as they label him. Yes, he was trying to get that competitive edge out of Michael Jordan. And yes, he did instruct Kerr to cheap shot Jordan on those screens, in which Michael said, Steve, don't do that again. And he did it again. And again, they exchanged some blows. But again, that happens in all-time great teams. I mean, some of them is kept in-house. Some of them, unfortunately, are aired. But yeah, that's a part of it. It's called par for the course. I mean, you got to have a little bit of animosity and drama, amongst your troops to get everybody in line. But coming back to this whole ordeal with Pippen and Horace Grant and all these guys. Now, I hear this thing about, somebody not being nice, not going to mention the person's name, but, they see him as a nice guy, right? I mean, Mario Chalmers called him the BITCH word, who like a lot of his opponents, like they will literally get up in his face because they don't fear him. They respect him. Like Shaq said, they do respect him. They don't fear him. But with Michael Jordan, there was a healthy level of fear that you would not cross him in a certain way. I'm talking about teammates. I'm talking about opponents because he would make you pay instantly. Byron Scott, prime example. He said, I never make MJ mad. Like, hey, MJ, hey, how's your day going? Hey, how's the family? He said, he may go out there and give me a modest 38, but if you come out there talking spicy, MJ gonna give you 55. So he was like, I always made it my ultimate goal, never piss that man off. Now, I'm saying that to say this. Jordan did put Pippen, did put Grant through those rigors. They were going up against the bad boy Pistons. Jordan needed to know that when we go to battle, I need you to be at your absolute best. I don't need you over here whining to the refs and showing all this emotion because with a team like the Pistons, all-time great team, but they also can play the psychological game. If they know they can get you into a back and forth with them or crying to the refs, well, what is that doing on the court? Getting you out of your game plan. So Jordan couldn't have that. That's why he had to toughen him up. Now, my thing is this. Let's count the rings. Pippen got 6. Grant has 3 with the Bulls. He has 4 total, but 3 with the Bulls. Longley has 3. That's a total of 12 rings. How bad can a guy be that amongst the 3 of you guys, you're on par with Bill Russell? I mean, I'm really trying to figure this out. Like, do you want him to be a nice guy, or do you want to win championships? You can't have it both ways. I know some people in a perfect world, they'd rather have it both ways, but that's not the reality we live in. So if you have a guy who, quote unquote, is a tyrant or an a-hole or whatever, I don't care. There's a quote by the great Niccolo Machiavelli, right? Do the ends justify the means? He was
a meanie. That's what a lot of people would say.
In so many words, right? So that's one of my favorite quotes. The ends justified the means. So you end up being a total 12 total rings amongst you 3. You win championships because what Michael Jordan did, it produced the end results. Now, had they never won anything, like, all right, yeah, Jordan was just an asshole and whatever, and they didn't win anything. But I mean, damn. There's only so much complaining you can be doing if you got all this hardware on your fingers. But now we get to this day and age where, like, I hate to say it, but society has gotten so sensitive that any form of patriarchal masculinity is deemed toxic or deemed being a jerk or whatever. Because, I mean, it's still just mind-blowing to me because I come up in that era. I was a kid, and it was customary for me to get disciplined if I did something wrong, whether it be from my father, from my uncle, from my coach, from a principal. And even when you look in sports, I mean, if you make a mistake, all right, cool, just accept it. Hey, if you missed an assignment, just accept it, move forward. But to do all this complaining and, oh, yeah, well, this is what we're going to tell you guys and blah, blah, blah. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care what they bring forth to the table. Michael Jordan is up here. Okay, so you cannot tear that man down. I don't care what you do, what you say. The brand, I mean, it exceeded all expectations. And like Rex said, he's not even responding. Like, he's not even giving it any bit of energy whatsoever because he already knows what these guys are doing. Now, with Michael Jordan not even giving it any type of energy, and you guys are still out here pushing this on and whatever, it's like, to me, it's the ultimate sign of desperation because it's like, you guys are trying to revise history now that we live in this age of social media and clickbait. I really feel like outside of them trying to use a money grab, they're trying to pander to the young generation. And a lot of them are not even confused. I mean, they're not even influenced by this because I've seen somebody in the comments, they even brought it up. The situation with Marcus Jordan and Larsa, which Michael Jordan said he did not approve. Not one time did he ever say, son, I support you in this endeavor. So with that playing a factor in it too, I'm looking at it like, well, Pippen, who are you really mad at? It seems like you're trying to project your anger and frustration onto Michael Jordan rather than the people who are causing all of this turmoil in your life, hence your ex-wife, hence the media, because Michael Jordan goes out his way to build you up and speak highly of you. But yet you have all this venomous animosity towards him when he's not even creating this. But again, like Rex has said, like Dart, you said, and like Robin said, Michael Jordan is the cash cow. We can't attack the media pundits. We're not going to get any notoriety. We can't go attack Larsa. Oh no, because you'll be considered misogynistic and objectifying women. So no, okay, let's go after Michael Jordan. Low hanging fruit. That's my take on that one.
Real fast, I thought it was funny. Aqualord Clue, I believe the name is, said MJ told them to put your shoes on. For Horace Grant specifically, I thought that was funny. That's why I snickered earlier.
That's
I wasn't
good.
laughing at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aqualord, he coming with them comments, man. Hey, shout out to him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought that was a lot of great points. For me, I think the one thing that I think Rex made a really great point is that this will continue for a while, especially after the release of The Last Dance. And maybe somebody else will come out of the woodworks and try to smear Michael Jordan. I'm not saying it'll never stop, but I thought the great point for the next level that Rex brought up is when are they going to start doing it to LeBron James? Because already, because at least when I remember, because I wasn't, I was in 96, I was 9 years old. So for me, it was the perfect storm of watching basketball. So Michael Jordan was like my childhood basketball hero. So I don't know how much they were attacking him in the media, realistically speaking. I know with the documentaries, but I know what I remember is that he was glorified to the top. Now, LeBron in the media is tore down every day. I wonder what it's like when people actually get the inside scoop on it. With LeBron, if they do something like this in the future. Robin, what do you think if they do something like this with LeBron? What do you think these guys are going to have to say about LeBron? Do you think it's going to be cliche, or do you think they're going to have a lot more stories to say about him that would be perceived as negative, like this noble tour that these guys are doing?
Well, I want to say something first about the Michael Jordan stuff that we were just talking about before, as it pertains to like you said, like the end game here. Because really, what are we saying here? Are these guys really upset because they felt they didn't get the same amount of credit as Michael Jordan did for the championships? Like, think of that's literally what they're at the core of all of this. That's literally what this boils down to at its core. They're upset because they feel they didn't get the same amount of credit for the championships the Bulls won as Michael Jordan. When you say that out loud, it sounds ridiculous, absolutely insane for them to think that they should have been more highlighted during the Last Dance documentary. You guys feel slighted? They were upset because people were saying, oh, Michael Jordan made a fluff piece about himself and the Bulls championships. Duh! It's Michael Jordan, man. This man is not only recognized as the greatest basketball player of all time, He's recognized as the most transcendent athlete in the history of mankind. He surpassed guys like Muhammad Ali and Babe Ruth, Wayne Gretzky. All of these guys were surpassed by Michael Jordan, man. The pantheon of the legends, the Bill Russells, the Will Chamberlains, the Jesse Owens, the Jackie Robinsons. Everyone is bowed down to Michael Jordan, whether you believe or you understand it or like it or not. And yet they believe that they should have gotten a smidgen of more credit than they actually gotten. It's laughable at best for a grown-up to actually feel that way instead of really appreciating. So once again, I go back to the point that I made. Michael Jordan, we must remember, won these championships while dealing with all of these things going on behind the scenes. Not only the ownership, an owner like Jerry Reinsdorf, who cared about nothing but money and trying to better the franchise. Remember, these are the same guys that wanted Michael Jordan to tank it out his second season after he broke his foot. They weren't about winning when he got to that franchise. He had to change their mindsets from the top all the way down to the last man, the towel boy. He had to change everyone's mindset in that organization. Now, when we think about the LeBron James angle, the reason why it's going to be more of a problem for LeBron James as it pertains to a Michael Jordan, once again, what are these guys talking about? The Luke Longleys, the Horace Grants, the Scottie Pippens. They're not giving you any factual information that we already don't know as it pertains to what happened on the court. What do we hear these guys used to say? Oh, man, oftentimes our practices were harder than games. Have you heard anybody say that about LeBron James? No. So when they try to say that they were given a hard time by Michael Jordan, it all adds up. It makes sense. The practices were harder than games sometimes. So obviously that shows you that Michael Jordan was no joke, man. He was there about his business. He was there to push these guys to another level that they were not going to be otherwise. And the proof is in the pudding. The results were there. When we think about LeBron James and what people could possibly say down the road, they could easily say LeBron James didn't practice. They've already said these kinds of things. Guys like Isaiah Thomas and others have came out and said that the teams do not practice. I remember Frank Vogel coming out a couple years back and literally saying, oh, no, we don't practice. They don't practice. He just said it. We don't practice. LeBron James teams are notoriously known for never practicing like that. We obviously see LeBron James does not believe in practice. He hasn't improved his free throw shooting, his ball handling, his jump shot, his defensive abilities. He hasn't even gotten better at being a leader or a teammate. So when we think about the things that people could possibly say, we know about the elephant in the room. I'm not going to go there as far as the chemicals and things of that nature. All of these things, remember, we go back to Cat Williams. What did Cat Williams say? You cannot allow the losers to rewrite history. That's what's going on now. The losers like Scottie Pippen, the Horace Grants, these guys are losers when it comes to these kinds of things. No grown man carries himself like that. There's no honor in this at the end of the day, right? What's the end game, like you guys were saying? That goes to a lack of honor there. There's no end game here. It's all about the money. There's no honor in this. So for me, LeBron James has a lot more to lose down the road than anything that Michael Jordan, because once again, like we said, what are they going to say? Michael Jordan was rude to us. He wasn't nice. Michael Jordan was too hard on us in practice. Michael Jordan wanted us to win more than we wanted to win ourselves. Oh, my God.
Rex, what's your take on what Robin had to say?
Well, yeah, I mean, I just really thought, now, for one thing, if you don't like The Last Dance, or you don't like how you're depicted in The Last Dance, the cameras were there on them too, correct?
Yeah.
There's footage of them. Their great plays, their contributions. You need to talk to the editor. All right. Now, Michael Jordan didn't edit The Last Dance. Okay. He was not the director. All right. They're the ones that put it together. Michael Jordan greenlighted it, but even when he greenlighted it in 2016, it didn't actually start being made until years later. Because their official reason for not having face-to-face interviews with Longley was because it was during the lockdown and they couldn't go to Australia. So that tells you it was being made at the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020. It came out in May of 2020 after Nike listed their greatest loss. They had lost $790 billion or $790 million that quarter. They had the footage for years. It had been greenlighted for 3 years. and it wasn't released until they had a catastrophic financial loss. And amazingly, after it was put out, they got back in the black and recovered the loss. It was propaganda that was put out to sell merch. That's what it was. So that's how it was edited. Because putting a whole bunch in there about, Luke Longley's immense contributions, and Pippen's clutchness, and Grant's contributions when he wasn't even involved in the second three-peat isn't going to get you the money back, which is the reason it was made. Jordan's the cash cow. It's been said how many times? That's what was made the feature of it. It was basically a biography of Jordan and his team and what they achieved, because that is what sells. So that is what was put out. So I don't even understand what they're mad about, unless it like I said, to me, it's just a cash grab. And the people who are the real fans, the people that are really into basketball, that watched it, that lived it, that are part of it, as it was going on, we know what everyone brought to the table. We know that there were points in games and series along the way where you could not have done without a Luke Longley. There was one game in particular where he had like 12 first quarter points, and I think it was 12 and 4 in the first 8 or 10 minutes of a game. That was so crucial. Okay, he had his moments. He contributed. That's why he got a ring. Okay, these guys, they did their part. And like I said, I just don't understand the logic behind it, other than just being your basic run-of-the-mill money grab. And hey, I don't fault people from finding money in the cracks and seams of the couch. I mean, if the money's out there to be gotten, go get it. But a bit of perspective here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oop God, what's your take on all this?
So, Dart, what was the original question? Because I had to step away from it for a moment.
So it ended up being about what do you think people would say about LeBron, but it steered from that. That was my prompt question, but we, just keep going with whatever we're talking about. But the initial prompt question was, what do you think in the future after all the smear against Michael Jordan happens and they start targeting guys like LeBron James? How do you think? And I asked specifically about LeBron. What do you think his teammates would say about him? But yeah, I mean, just talk about what everyone else is talking about.
Oh man. Well, okay. So we know what Dwayne Wade has said on record about when Kobe Bryant won the 5th championship. He called up LeBron, hey, what you want to do? All that, situation that went down. We know what Mario Chalmers was saying about, LeBron being able to guard. It's I find this ironic. They say he guards 1 through 5, but yet George Hill hits a shot. No, Paul George hits the shot. Mario Chalmers is guarding George Hill, but yet LeBron, why you didn't go guard him? Well, Paul George is your assignment. He's the small forward. I'm guarding George Hill, the point guard. And he has to tell LeBron, hey, stop acting like a B and play. It's like, I don't recall any of Michael Jordan's teammates having to use those colorful words to him, but that's not the here nor there. Chris Bosh, I would be very interested to see what he would have to say. Kevin Love, because this man suffered depression playing with LeBron James. I'm like, I can only imagine what he may even write a memoir. Kyrie Irving, he's a bit of how would I label Kyrie Irving? I think Kyrie's gonna have some things to say, but I think Kyrie's gonna try to stay even keel. But I would like to see what J.R. Smith. This is the reason why I want to see what J.R. has to say. And I know y'all can follow me on this. Do y'all notice how much blame and how much responsibility they try to hold on JR? Like, they just lambasted him for his 2018 debacle. Hey, listen, yeah, he did something that was unorthodox, or like what he did in that moment. It's like, come on, man. Yeah, it was a brain cramp. Cool. I don't understand why they don't give him the same amount of credit for slowing down Iguodala in 2016 that allowed the other guy to complete the block, which in my eyes was a goaltend. But I'm gonna leave that alone. I just said I noticed how they just gloss over that, right? And I heard JR. He said this. He said it's almost like it's a curse to play with this guy because when you win, he gets all the credit. Nobody else. Everybody else is, oh yeah, see, oh, this is what he does. He drags his team from the bottom, all this stuff. But then when they lose, it's the finger pointing. It's his fault. It's his fault. It's their fault. It's this. Wait a minute. You're the best player. Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Derek Jeter. Hey, I got to get better. I got to get my team in better situations in the first, second, third quarter. So in the fourth quarter, we don't find ourselves in these pivotal moments. That's what the leader does. When we win, watch this. We play great as a team. I love our performance as a team. We need to continue this momentum that we're carrying on into the regular season or the playoffs. As the best player, you always take the responsibility in a loss. You don't blame your teammates because that's not going to galvanize your troops. It's not going to get them inspired to go out there and play better. When you try to blame them, in their mind, it's like, well, why do I need to go out and give all this effort when I'm not going to get any credit? I'm going to get the blame, like Kyrie Irving, for example. They'll say, oh, Kyrie hit a great shot. Yeah, he's supposed to do that. But they don't want to talk about LeBron James missing 5 consecutive shots that led up to Kyrie hitting this shot. And it's not even like LeBron designed the play. Like LeBron literally could not make a shot. And in the timeout, you can see him over there. Talu, get him the ball, because he's not a clutch player, like Robin said. When you are practicing, intense practicing, when you get into a game 6, when you get into a game 7, it's second nature because you've already been in those scenarios, i.e. the New England Patriots. Can't stand them. But as far as their success and their execution, San Antonio Spurs can't stand them. But as far as their success and their execution, why? They go through every scenario known to man. So when you find your role players in these pivotal moments, they can go back. Oh, wait, this play right here, this is what I'm supposed to do. Malcolm Butler. We get on the goal line. No, they're not going to run the ball with Marshawn. They're probably going to try to end breaking slant because everybody else's game plan for Marshawn. So what does Pete Carroll do? He tries to get away from what he does best and get cute. So Malcolm Butler was in that position. Interception, boom, Patriots win. San Antonio Spurs. Greg Popovich did make a mistake taking Tim Duncan out of that game in the 2013 finals. However, look what happened in 2014. They not only did they get revenge, they came out for blood and set a record for a 15-point margin in a finals victory. I mean, just to see how they went out there and methodically executed the Miami Heat, I'm like, that was surgical. I said, I think Greg Popovich need to go get his PhD because he looked like a surgeon the way he had those guys out there executing. Why? Because they already practiced those scenarios. When you go out there and you practice day in, day out, it becomes second nature. LeBron James does not do that. LeBron James plays accidental basketball. He gets caught up in the analytics. If I drive in and just kick it out, make a shot, it's not going to beat no elite team. It's not going to beat an elite team because they know how to counter that. You're not confusing them. You're in front of the defense. They can see you. You're not using any back cuts. You're not using any off-ball screens. You're not using the give and goes. You're not utilizing every bit of that floor to put pressure on your opponent when all you're doing is isoing at the top of the key and driving and kicking. It's not going to beat anybody. So when you see that and you get in real time in the game, and I'm looking at this guy, you over here having a whole temper tantrum because of J.R. Smith, but yet you didn't even go over the scenarios with, hey, JR, what you going to do if we get in a one-possession game and somebody shoots a free throw? Give you the ball? No. You get the ball, bro. Just put it back up. Make them foul you. You know what I'm saying? You have to put them in these scenarios. I mean, don't they keep telling us how high his IQ is? I'm like, okay, if he's got this high IQ, why are his troops always uncomfortable? Prime example. When you guys seen John Paxson hit that shot, did he look uncomfortable? He didn't look uncomfortable to me. He looked like he's hit that shot over 100 times in practice. Steve Kerr, when Michael told him, he said, hey, Steve, he said, John gonna double down again, be ready. He said, all right, Michael, if he switch off, I'll be ready. When Steve Kerr shot that shot, it looked like he shot that shot over 100 times in practice. It was just a regular pull-up jumper, boom, bottom of the net. Jordan already put these guys in these scenarios. And I mean, you can credit Phil Jackson too, but The reason I'm saying it is Michael Jordan being a leader. He saw that. Like, he saw those things. I don't see that with LeBron. When he made that pass to Kyle Korver, he looked so uncomfortable in the 2017 finals. I mean, it's just I'm gonna just drive in and just pass the ball to you. If you're not practicing that, why do you expect him to hit this shot now with all this pressure in a game 4 situation? You can't put that on your teammates. Just like George Hill. Everybody, oh, he made the right play. George Hill looked like a deer in the headlights. He looked like he didn't even expect LeBron to pass him the ball. But then you want him to go to the free throw line and make 2 free throws. Like, I don't know if y'all seen this, but that man was shaking so bad, I thought he had Tourette. Like, he was just like, what is wrong? I'm like, you cannot do that to a role player if he's not prepared for those situations. And I'm thinking, like, LeBron, if you're a great player, you got Steph Curry. Bro, get the ball, just pull up and shoot. What are you doing? You're holding the ball. You're allowing the defense to get in position to stop you. But then you make the play a bailout, and all of a sudden now it's the teammate's fault. No, I ain't buying that. I'm sorry. That's a false bill of goods. Because you go into the overtime, right? 2 scenarios. Either you can keep pouting and allowing your teammates to see that and feed off that energy, or you can go in there and speak life into them. Hey, we don't have nothing to lose, okay? They're the defending champs. We got them on the ropes. Let's take this bad boy home. Hey, let's go out here. Let's play ball. Let's get this victory. Let's get up out of here. That ain't what they did. So whenever they do this whole LeBron scenario, I am going to be watching with my popcorn, like T.O. said, get your popcorn ready, because I want to see what these guys got to say about him. That's my take on that one.
Yeah, real fast, it was asked if this is being simulcast. It is. It's being simulcast on Sports and Fitness Rants channel at Politicus Rex 865, I believe is the number. And then at Michael Jordan Fans Are the Best, my channel. So yes, if you're looking in your YouTube channel, that's why I put this overlay up on the right side of the screen so you can see everybody's comments through every channel that's on here. You're not able to see it otherwise. Everyone's comments on each individual YouTube. But Hoop God, what you're saying, we actually did, me and Rex did a film breakdown, if you want to call it that. It was an attempt of a film breakdown and eventually just became that. But one thing that was talked about, you're talking about LeBron making the right play. I'm saying that's the terminology used for that. But me and Rex were talking about it in the video is how can you, my question is, how are you making the right play for what you were saying, which I agree with, is when you're primarily doing ISO ball and one trick, 1 or 2 person plays. Nobody's doing off-ball stuff other than the 2 people involved with it. How is that the right play? It's not. I mean, I'm not saying it never works, but how is that the right play? That's a contradiction in my opinion. If that's the only thing you do, cynically speaking, that's not the right play. At least in my opinion. I mean, just taking a second level thought process on this, it's not. But yeah, I really don't have too much. I think it was all said about the LeBron stuff. I'm interested to see it. If it does happen, I think it will happen eventually. I think there'll be a lot more tea than what the Michael Jordan fan guys did. I think they're just primarily doing it for money. I don't think they have a real beef with it. And that's my follow-on question for Robin. Do you think that these guys, and I know this was talked about a little bit, do you think these guys actually hate Michael Jordan? Do you think there's actually any ill will here, or do you think it's all primarily just the money, or do you think they actually have a problem with him?
Yeah, absolutely. What we're saying, the problem is they believe deep down that they deserve more credit for their roles on the championship teams. It's tantamount to all these years later. You guys, you have like Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, and Danny Ainge come out and say, Larry Bird wasn't really the main reason we won all of those championships. We were there too. Like, are we really doing this right now? Like, what are we talking about here? It would be like all these guys from the Celtics team in the 60s to come out now and band together and start ripping Bill Russell down. Now, Bill Russell's not the greatest. He's nowhere close. We were all that. This is what they're doing right now. This is how silly it is to me, an actual person who watched this stuff going up. That's how I get this. You got some of these clowns in the chat down here. These guys ain't saying nothing. They saying this .com idiot, and you got this other fool down here, this other fool. I can't remember his name. These guys are talking absolute nonsense. The one thing we must remember here when they talk about LeBron James and we're talking about their teammates, right? And helping your teammates out and being a good teammate, setting an example, being a leader. Let's not forget, like I said, how many times has Michael Jordan bigged up Scottie Pippen? There is so much audio out there on the internet of Michael Jordan giving this. I mean, there's so much audio. You could make probably like a 10 or 20-minute speech at the end of an Oscar Awards reception for this stuff, man. The things that he says about Scottie Pippen is absolutely ridiculous. He goes over the top to praise Scottie Pippen throughout the career. The same things could be said about Horace Grant, even Phil Jackson and the coaching staff. I remember Michael Jordan many times after a game giving props to the game plan of the coaching staff after the win. Oh, man, we really executed the game plan. These are the kinds of things that Michael Jordan would say at the games. He would literally say these things. So when we hear these guys now, we must remember also Michael Jordan in 1997 NBA Finals bringing Scottie Pippen out for the Finals MVP ceremony, putting his arm around Scottie Pippen, calling Scottie Pippen his MVP. He said that. If you go back and listen to the entire interaction when they interviewed Michael Jordan right there with Scottie Pippen right there next to him, he says, man, it's me and Scottie Pippen, man. If it's not just me, it's me and him. Michael Jordan never once, so I remember ever hearing Michael Jordan say, yeah, of course, it's me. I'm Michael Jordan, man. I'm the greatest of all time. That 6th championship, that made me the greatest of all time. He never said anything remotely close to these kinds of things. Even if he felt he's the greatest basketball player of all time, he never blamed Scottie Pippen. He brought the Bulls out, the entire team, for the 1991 MVP trophy celebration. He brought the entire team out with him to receive that award. Other players have done that in their careers. Michael Jordan did that. All these years later, people act like Michael Jordan was ungrateful. He was jealous and selfish person and all of these things. Michael Jordan was a great leader. He led by example. And once again, he did everything that he needed to do as the leader, paying the price as we see right now all these years later. These guys might have a certain kind of feeling towards Michael Jordan. Yeah, they might have some general resentment towards Michael Jordan. I don't believe Luke Longley does. How can Luke Longley have any resentment towards Michael Jordan? I'm not buying that one bit. If Horace Grant does, I can see it. If Scottie Pippen does, I can see it. Because like Luke Longley was not brought up from Michael Jordan like Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant were. They came in there as rookies together, and Michael Jordan was riding them from day one to get them on that level. Luke Longley came in a trade from another team. He had already been in the league for years. All they need Luke Longley to do is not mess up. That's literally what they want him to do out there. Just don't mess up, man. If I pass you the ball, just make the shot, man. Don't turn it over, man. And play good defense. Be there. You know, be a big guy down in the paint. So I don't see how Luke Longley could be any mad at Michael Jordan for anything. Scottie Pippen, yeah. Like my man Uncut Hoop said earlier when he came in the chat, he talked about the personal issues as it relates to Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan behind the scenes. That absolutely has something to do with this. But if we think about the on-court relationship throughout the career, I don't remember seeing any of this stuff show up on the video footage, man. Like I said, all the praise that Michael Jordan gave Scottie Pippen, the way that Scottie Pippen played the game with Michael Jordan, the joy that they seem to have played with. Go back and watch the video footage. They're laughing. They're high. I mean, they look like they were literally born to play together, but yet all these years later, that's why I say it's impressive what Michael Jordan was able to do. You know what I'm saying? This is the thing.
All right, Rex, what's your take?
What's the question specifically?
Do you think these guys really dislike Michael Jordan? And then whatever
Horace Grant has said he does. Yeah. Horace Grant has said for 30 years that he hates Michael Jordan as a person. He can't stand him. He's always said that. Scotty has always seemed to me to be more of a reactionary type of person. He doesn't seem to have a vocal, viewpoint until someone does something to him, good or bad, is what I've seen. I don't know how he actually feels about him. I don't know him. And Luke Longley's, I think it was on Netflix, had a response to The Last Dance. And he mentions in there, they're having like a cookout at his house and they're interviewing him. And he talked about how he really didn't like Jordan as a person because he was just so intense that just wasn't his, that's not how he is. He's a relaxed, laid back type of guy. And he just really didn't get along with Jordan, but had no issue with him. So I really just think it's just a pure, straight and simple money grab. And that's all. And as far as the thing with LeBron, it depends on how much money he's making for people. When people start feeling left out, then they'll start making their comments about him to make money. You're not going to see anything while he's still playing because the NBA won't. They'll squash any of that because that's bad publicity for the league. As long as he's playing, you won't hear anything. None of these shows are going to come out while he's playing. After he's playing, it depends on how magnanimous he is with them and how far they can carry without him. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot about LeBron because I just don't think when he's not playing, I don't think he's that interesting. I don't think he's going to get, if he's not playing, he's not going to get clicks. That's as long as that's why he stayed on the court for 21 years. That's how he's relevant. Once he walks away, I think his relevancy ends. Jordan became part of pop culture. And so Jordan doesn't have to lace him up. He just has to walk up to a microphone and there's 1 million clicks and $1 million made. I don't see LeBron having that same pull. Kobe had that pull. People were still completely interested in Kobe after he retired, what he was doing. Things he had going on. He won an Oscar, I believe.
Yep.
I mean,
some LeBron ain't gonna be. Well, I don't know, Rex. He may do it with that flopping, so I want to say that.
Yeah, but I still blame Duke basketball in the early '90s for the whole flopping thing. To me, that's where it all started. They're stepping in underneath, and that's why they put the line. That's why there's a line under the basket that you can't stand underneath to take a charge. That's a whole Krzyzewski thing. And they learned it. Well, they learned it with the Dream Team when they went over and they saw how the European teams step underneath, and I knew about it because I was playing international ball at that time and I was an expert at it. But that's where it got brought to the NBA was the Dream Team. When they went over and the coaches saw this is how the European teams play with the trapezoid lane. You got an extra beat to step in there to take charges on drives. And they brought that, Krzyzewski took that to Duke. And then those Duke players got to the NBA and the other players that were involved, the other coaches, that were involved saw. And as the European style of play with the stretch 4s, stretch 5s, and how they played defense came in, you get the flopping. That's why NBA games now, not all NBA, college games too. That's why they look like soccer games. Every time somebody gets kicked in the shin, they drop like they got shot. And that's how they do in the NBA now. It's the European mindset. Draw the foul. You want to draw that yellow card. You want to get that red card. Now it's in basketball. It's like you flop, force that call, get the free throws, get the other player, get him in foul trouble and off the court. It's not, I want to play this guy and I want to beat him and I want to beat this team. It's, well, what nuance of the rules can we push? Can we, bend to get the advantage in our favor so we don't have to play their best player straight up?
All right. What's your take on all this, Hoop God?
So I wanted to come back to what Rex was talking about with those Duke Blue Devils or Little Devils, because I'm a Tar Heel fan. So Rex, I'm all for the bashing of the Duke Little Devils. I love
NC
it.
State.
Anytime we play them,
Wolfpack.
Oh, okay. Hey, listen, we right there together. NC State, Tar Heels, yeah. Anybody but Duke. So I'm but so
well, my daughter
this, right?
Soccer at NC State, so.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, I hope they win the collegiate championship. But I wanted to bring this back. So when we look at Jordan and then like partially Kobe too, but LeBron, see, this is the thing. And Dart, I'm glad you hit on this. If you just look at it from an optical perspective, Michael Jordan doesn't really seek the attention from the media. He's more so withdrawn, right? And if you look at it, people are always going to be more interested in the guy who is trying to avoid the media because there's a certain level of mystique to that person. Now, when Jordan does make his appearances, look how it just gets blown up by the media, right? And it's not like he's seeking this because they always say, oh, well, Michael Jordan doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. But if you go see all of his charitable donations, you would literally have to sit down and close your mouth because this man has donated a vast amount of money to a lot of organizations out here that he just does not publicize because he's doing it from a sincere place. Because I honestly feel like if you got to go out here and broadcast everything where you're doing it to seek approval, you're doing it for the gratification, which is why when the guy that we're talking about retires, no, he's not going to be relevant to the degree of a Jordan or a Kobe Bryant because he's always going to be seeking attention. And nobody is going to be fawning for a guy who's always looking for approval. Like you're always, hey, I got to do this. I got to do this. Like, bro, can you ever just go away? Like, can you ever just go off to yourself? Like, we don't have to see you working out and all this because it's funny how this guy's always posting his workout videos, yet he's still a lousy free throw shooter. He still ain't developed a mid-range pull-up. So what are you working on? I mean, I don't get it. Like, you're doing all this flexing and preening, and then when you get to the Western Conference Finals, you can't even close the team out in the fourth quarter. You never had those issues with Jordan or Kobe Bryant. And even Michael Jordan, when he worked on his game, he wasn't out here telling everybody, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's like, why do you need so much attention from the media? Like, to me, that's just screaming insecurities. Like, hey, notice me, look at me, look at me. It's almost like a damn rooster. You hear a rooster cock-a-doodle doing when the sun comes up, but you got that dragon that stays up in his cave. Like, he doesn't come out, only to a certain amount of time. And when that dragon comes out, everybody wants to see him. But you see this damn, like, this rooster over flapping his wings. It's like, hey, man, we see you. Can you be quiet? Like, you're getting on our nerves. Like, god damn. That's another reason why I believe this guy does not want to retire because, like Rex, like all three of you guys said, once he gets away from basketball, nobody's going to be saying, hey, I'm going into the LeBron James Academy to get better at basketball. No, nobody wants to play like that because I seen this .com dude. Oh, like, bro, listen. Steph Curry has more impact on the game of basketball right now in LeBron's era. Nobody's out there trying to flop.
I believe by far.
Right. Nobody's out there trying to flop and freight train to the goal and make kick out passes. Like, that's an ugly brand of basketball. Now, what Steph Curry is doing to a certain degree has had a negative effect, but for the overall, like, revolutionizing the game, it's Steph Curry because you have even go all the way to the AAU circuits. Like, when I go see my nephews play, all of them pulling up from the timeline. Like, I see some of them in transition. You will have 2 or 3 guys in there wide open. They pulling up. Now, they're hitting them more than they're making them, but still, that's directly correlated with Steph and Wardell Curry. So nobody cares about LeBron. Nobody finna go seek him out for basketball. They're going to be looking at the Steph Curry, the Trae Youngs, and all these guys who pulling up from the timeline because that's where basketball is moved to, unfortunately. So when I see guys saying this, it's like, bro, this dude is hanging on for dear life. Like, his style of play is so obsolete. Like, I can't even find another term to apply to it outside of archaic. Like, nobody wants to see that. Like, Steph Curry is the poster child of modern basketball of today. And before him, it was the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant's style of play. I mean, that's just what it is. You cannot get away from that. So when we're talking about Michael Jordan's impact on off the court versus LeBron James' impact on off the court, it's not even close. I mean, to me, it's like you're trying to compare the Empire State Building to, I would just say, a regular little shop.
Apples to typewriters is what Rex has said multiple times.
Apples to typewriter. I love it because it's not even close. Like I said, Michael Jordan has an abundance of video breakdowns. You can go see. He'll teach you about how to protect the ball on the crossover. He'll teach you how to position yourself to get a steal. To this day, I mean, it's still up there. You'll see.
Dart has posted those on the channel for those of you watching. The Michael Jordan instructional videos are on this channel.
Case in point. Are you? I'm being so legitimate when I ask this question. I don't see no instructional videos of LeBron James about, hey, this is how you better yourself. This is how you put yourself in a position to either get a steal or to get a block. I don't see any of that. I see that with Jordan. I even saw that with Kobe. Kobe Bryant had a whole section on detail about how to attack a defense based off if they're playing a zone, if they're playing a man,
Yep.
or if they're trying to funnel you to the big man. I don't see that from him.
I've seen that. That is a very good one, by the way, for anyone watching. That video, it tells a lot.
Exactly. Then if you listen to the great Bobby Knight, he even told you, and I know we've touched on this subject a lot, but I have to come back to that when they were like, well, Portland already has Clyde Drexler. He said, I don't care, draft Jordan, play him at center. You have a coach of that magnitude telling you to take a guy and play him at center. That right there should tell you how great he's going to end up being for the National Basketball Association.
That is one of the most misinterpreted quotes. That's not what he meant. What he meant was, this guy is such a transcendent is what I mean, transcendent talent, that with him, you're not going to need the dominant center, which is exactly what a decade later the Bulls proved.
Right.
That's what he saw, is that he saw the change in the game that was going to come.
Yep.
Because he saw it firsthand in practice every day.
Yep.
And he saw how this is going to change the dynamic once coaches figure out how to optimize it. And that's what happened.
Yep.
He wasn't actually meaning that Michael Jordan could play center. If Jordan tried to actually play man-on-man center in the NBA, he would get destroyed.
Right. Yeah, and Rick,
he ain't going to do nothing against Moses Malone.
Yeah,
all right.
And Bobby Knight was using a little bit of hyperbole, but no, what you're saying is absolutely correct, because if you replace Scottie Pippen with Clyde Drexler in that triangle, they would be even more potent. So no, I absolutely agree with that. But coming back to the topic, like prime example, and I'm rooting for this guy. I don't want nobody. I know these dudes in the comments, they're going to misquote, mischaracterize. I don't care. But I'm really rooting for Bronny. I am, because I want him to succeed. However, the pressure that he's getting from his father, it's unbearable, because it's like, I'm looking at the kid's posture. I'm looking at his facial expressions. He hasn't hit that mark yet, not for the NBA, because he still hasn't even developed for a collegiate player. Like, he's still learning the game to a degree. And it's like, you're trying to fast forward him to come to the league to what? Self-serve you, not him. You should be trying to put Bronny in a situation that benefits him. Let him get there on his own, but trying to fast forward him and get him there all because you want to have a Ken Griffey Jr. senior moment, like, to me, that's taken away from Bronny's development. And I really want to see that kid develop. But as of right now, it's like he got miles to go. And I'm not saying that he doesn't, because, I mean, he has access to everything. That's what has me puzzled. I'm like, you got access to the greatest coaches in America, but it's like, is there something missing? Because I know they like to talk about Michael Jordan's sons and all this, but they were putting up better numbers in their collegiate career than what Bronny's doing right now. Now, in his second, third year, I really hope he can get over that pedestal and start to improve, because I want to see the kid do great. But putting that pressure on him right now, trying to fast forward into the league, oh yeah, Bronny could come in right now and help the Lakers. I know he can't. He can't even help USC out. Like, you know, you do not need to put that type of pressure on your son. But that's my take on that. Go ahead, Dart.
Yeah, so got another super chat from Roland Curtis. Thank you very much. And I'll address this question, and then if y'all are good with it, we'll take some calls for a little bit after this, unless you guys have something to say before that. But let me address this real fast. Was this a Steph Curry era or LeBron James era? I guess it depends on what years you're talking about, because they didn't play the exact same years. But it's hard. I think they both have a case for it. I don't think it's like Michael Jordan, where it was Michael Jordan's era, in a phrase. But who was the most influential on basketball culture? I think by far it's Steph Curry. You could argue that LeBron is a better individual player, and I think that's fair and a very good argument to have. But I don't think, in respect to the overall icon and greatness, that I personally would say it's Steph Curry. But that's, if you say it's LeBron, I get it. But I wanted to address the main or the two things. The one big thing that Rex said initially, I believe, was that he really is not a big pop culture guy. Now, he obviously he's involved with pop culture, but a lot of people in the comments are saying, "Oh, we don't understand, how much he means to kids." Yeah, but he's not doing the things. He's not having the branding, the icon that guys like Michael Jordan did, even Steph Curry has. So that's the point. He's involved with it. It's nobody's saying that he's not. But when he's not playing basketball, how is he going to continue that? I mean, not to be a jerk, because I'm not saying I'm the most enthusiastic or charismatic guy, but he's kind of a door. You know what I mean? Like, he's not really that entertaining, in my opinion, outside of playing basketball. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He doesn't have the mystery, et cetera, all these things that were said. But to the initial question, let me
I
finish
just say one thing to that?
Okay,
to elaborate on what I said, since we're talking about what I said, it's just like to argue about the who's greater when we had the Mike and the LeBron and all right, LeBron's still playing. He has no legacy. It hasn't. Your legacy is determined after. And so he has greatness as a player, but he has no legacy. Legacy is what you leave behind. He's still playing. So when I sit there,
that doesn't mean you can't impact your legacy as you're playing. That's what he's doing right now, Rex. He's impacting that very legacy during these last several seasons. Go ahead.
How? Because you don't know how until after.
Rex, we have video footage of him rolling around on the floor for minutes from phantom
We sure do.
He's flopping on the court. He's load managing. He's slugging off the court early. All of those things impact your legacy currently.
But to what extent?
He can't erase this. It's not going anywhere. What do you mean?
But to what extent?
You're talking about
if you stop yelling for a moment. If you stop yelling for a
that's
moment.
What you're talking about. The respect factor that we're talking about here. What Dart's alluding to, the popularity or lack of for LeBron James, that goes to all the things I just highlighted that he's doing right before our eyes, Rex. It's not about the MVP trophies or the titles or the rebounds or the stats. It's about what he's putting out on the video footage. He does not carry himself with any honor, with no integrity. Let me address a couple of these fools real quick in the chat. We got this fool.com, and of course, we got the moron DC Slimback. When we think about this guy.com, my man, I guarantee you have 0 videos on your channel. I dare you to put yourself on camera and make a video and explain how LeBron James is more popular than Michael Jordan. No one is. Listen, LeBron James went to a Super Bowl and was booed. He got a less of an ovation in his hometown for the 75th anniversary. LeBron James does not mean that much for the little people out there growing up. He said for the kids out there. I coach first graders. I coach my son's first grade team. There's no one wearing LeBron James sneakers out there.
He got booed at that soccer game too.
You got kids talking about number 23 for Michael Jordan. LeBron doesn't even have his own number. So where's the popularity? When you see 23, you think Michael Jordan, not LeBron James, man. And my man DC Slim, you guys are corny, man. .com. You guys complain about what we're saying, and you say we don't know ball and it's personal and blah, blah, blah. You have no videos on your channels, then why are you here? If you don't appreciate what we're saying, you don't want to listen to the education, then hit the bricks, man. Y'all can easily click off. You guys make no sense, man. You guys are women. You're stalking us, literally. You're coming to a channel to listen to us break down the game, but yet you criticize. You've been here since the beginning.com, and as I said, one nice thing about our chat. So why are you still here an hour and 18 minutes into it? You're a weirdo.
Let me just finish real fast, and then do you guys want to talk about anything else before we let callers in? Or
.com, you're on the line, fool. You're a cornball. I'm calling you out to make a video. Put yourself on camera, fool, and break it down to us. I would love to hear it. You haven't said anything this entire live stream. You're a fool.
He's a shadow boxer. Like those dudes, they're never going to come in the box. They shadow boxers, man. Because he just asked me a question. I'm a hoop guy, but why I didn't get to the league? I had no aspirations, but I asked DC.com why you didn't get to the league. Because that was never my goal.
He's been saying all kinds of weird stuff. He got nothing to say. All narratives and Nick Wright stuff. This dude don't have no knowledge. That's why I tell him to make a video. Put yourself on camera and explain it. I would love to hear it. But you can't do that because everything that you say in the chat is all narrative driven. You've given no facts. No one cares about LeBron James as it relates to Michael Jordan's popularity. Are you kidding me right now? No one's buying his sneakers. I guarantee you don't even buy his sneakers.
All right, let me finish what I was going to say, and it is not really that long. I don't think they really hate him so much that they're doing of this tour. I think they're really doing it just for the money.
Yep.
I think we've beat that to a brick. So, yeah. Do you guys want to mention anything else? You want to address some other comments first, and then let some callers call in.
Oh
They
yeah,
can do whatever they want, man. DC Slim, this is not name calling. When I'm saying you guys are fools, it's the facts because you're saying foolish stuff in the chat. Speak facts, man. You keep talking about I'm yelling. Dude, I'm always yelling. What are you talking about? I'm not yelling all of a sudden. I'm always yelling. When am I not yelling? I'm yelling from the minute I wake up, fool. Don't be mad because I'm hitting you with the facts. If I was just yelling nonsense, then it wouldn't hold weight. The fact is, I'm able to do this and give you the info, the facts. That's why you have nothing to say, but I'm yelling. Don't be mad, dude. No one wants to hear what you got to say. Once again, why are you here then? This was called setting the record straight, man. I'm not listening to you fools, man. You guys are clowns out here. Don't come at me, man. You ain't ready for this. This is why I'm here.
Hey, Dart. The fact is, like Robin's saying, they don't like the channel, but yet they're boosting your algorithm. So it's almost like you got to give them the what is it? The fan of the hour. You got to label. You got to hit them with that badge because it's like you steady coming, but you don't like the content.
DC loves the abuse, man. He loves the abuse I give him. He must keep coming back for the facts. Listen, I take it as they're coming back for the education, man. All right, they love everything we have to say here. We're educated.
No, of course. Yeah, you can't bury the truth. I mean, the truth is always, like they say, cream rises to the top, so does the truth. You can't bury the truth. It's always going to come to the forefront.
.com, you keep saying the same stuff. You're on the live stream, fool. I'm waiting for you to make the video. Tag me in the video. Go do a 5-minute video right now, real quick. It's a Sunday. Go do a 5-minute video. Tag me in the video and explain everything you've been saying in this live chat. Because you look stupid. You've exposed yourself, man. Come on, man. You ain't ready for what I got. Go to my channel right now. Look at my videos. I guarantee you can't dispute anything I put out there. These are the facts, man. You guys don't know what you're talking about. I've listened and read everything you said this entire live stream, clown. You ain't said nothing. Look what you keep saying. I ain't on your channel, idiot. That's all you keep saying now.
Yes,
Going you out and you got nothing to say. You had all
hey,
this
bro,
energy
he definitely
for
on your
all
channel.
the other guys in the chat. You got no energy now, though, right? Exactly. You're a clown, man.
Real fast, we've got DC Slim in the background on the backstage. But Sick'em Savage is just giving you a super chat, Robin, for $2. He says, "Sick'em, bro."
Yo, Scotti Savage, man. That's one of my members of the Sports and Fitness Rants Club, man. Much respect. Once again, I'm truly humbled by anybody that's ever supported my channel, guys. For real, man. These guys, I'm not going to let this stand. I don't care where it is. I don't care what chat it is. It don't matter. I'm going to call you out, man, and I'm going to hold you to the facts, man. These guys are out here talking narratives, and he's over here, now he's crying, oh, I'm on Dart's channel. Yeah, because Dart's a nice guy. Well, guess what? I'm the other end of the spectrum, man. You got Dart nice and chill. He's going to let you be. I'm not going to allow you to come in the chat and talk nonsense when everybody else is speaking facts. You want to go out there and start talking crap. Get out of here, man.
All right. We've also got Roland Curtis in the back. We're gonna let DC Slim on first, and then ask us a question, and we'll let Roland Curtis on. How are you doing, DC Slim?
Much respect to the channel, homie. Check it out, man. I ain't here to be emotional, man. I ain't, and the name calling when it comes to sports, man, with the YouTube dudes is getting ridiculous. But I ain't even gonna let that, because I don't play that type of game. So you can have that. But on my opinion, look, man, I just think this a little bit overkill. I love Jordan, but I don't care about Jordan as a person. All the extra that y'all doing is, I don't think that's cool. So just because somebody might disagree with you, you can't just call him a fool, an idiot, and all that. Because back in the day, it seemed like y'all forgot. A lot of people don't like Michael Jordan as a person. You never hear interviews of people talking about Jordan and them hanging out. That's acceptable in public. But to make this personal because he's a great basketball player, to put over that, he might have did some dickhead shit to some people. Horace Grant and them, they might got something good to say. For you to say that you would love to see what they say about LeBron James, you being a hypocrite. So that's not,
DC,
that ain't.
I'll follow up something when you finish.
Hey, I don't have no problem with it. It's just like I said, I love watching this channel, but I think sometimes Sports and Fitness Rants take it to another level. All right, it's okay to be emotional and have your feelings about certain people, but what you cannot do is insult people. That ain't cool. See, that take the fun out of watching these kind of channels. You know, that's why it's just like he's
You're
talking
being
about LeBron.
emotional right now, man. Stop
See,
it, man.
see,
Stop
here
it.
we go. Here we go. Just let me speak my piece and I'll check out.
I
All
have
I'm
over
saying is,
1,000 videos on my channel. I've never cursed on any live stream. I've never cursed at anybody. You're being an emotional baby right now because I called you a fool. Come on, man. Spit the facts, man. You gotta be kidding me. I can't believe you called him with this nonsense again, man. Come on.
see, you're making my point, right? Look, dog, let me tell you something, Slim. I ain't interested in making no YouTube channel because I ain't trying to be popular. I'm here for the entertainment, okay? I separate the two. See, I used to watch your channel. I have unsubscribed from your channel because of your emotions, okay?
I don't
You're not
care,
even,
man.
I understand you don't care. That's all good. That's fine and dandy. But the topic here is what Scottie Pippen and them talking about. Look, man, Scottie Pippen and them might not like Jordan. Just leave it at that. To try to put all of this extra stuff in there, man, and make it look like Jordan is a god because he sold millions of shoes. Hey, how about, won't y'all talk about Jordan putting money in prisons? Won't y'all talk about how Jordan never did anything else for, and I ain't even gonna play
You just
politics,
said it
but
wasn't personal, and
he
now
ain't
you're
never
talking
did
all this
nothing.
other. Oh my
He's
God.
Jordan has never did anything major for black people. Okay, so don't try to
Nah,
make it
he's
look
done
like that.
stuff, but
That's
he
why
don't
it's
look for the
not fair.
attention for. See,
Just let
you're
me,
lying. You're lying
bro,
right now. You're
listen.
lying. I can't allow you to lie.
I am.
You're
It is
lying.
not our job to
Michael Jordan's done
grade a
way more than
person.
you have. No, that's the thing.
Of
You
course, he's
can't
done
lie.
more than me. That's easy. Of course,
I
he's
said
done
he's
more than
done
me
more
because
than you
I
know.
ain't got
Than
his
you
money.
know, fool. He ain't looking for the attention. This is why you're a
Listen,
fool.
man. Listen, man.
You're gonna
Dog,
put dirt on
sometimes
Michael
I
Jordan's
just wish
name
you would
and
just
say he
shut
don't
the
do
fuck
nothing.
up,
Get
dog.
out of here, man.
You know,
Yo,
you talk
why is
too
this guy
much,
always
man.
calling in, man? My God,
Look, dog, look, this ain't your show, bro. You know what
you're
I'm
a
saying? I'm
fool.
calling in to state my claim.
You
I
saying
have
the
an
same thing
opinion. You
every
have an
time.
opinion like you got one. Why you
You don't know
taking
the
this so
game.
personal, man?
You
You know
don't
what I'm
talk the
saying? This
game.
ain't even. Yeah, we ain't in the street, Slim. Just
Quick,
pump your brakes, man. So
Did,
all
did,
you
quick
need to do
question.
is pump your brakes.
Quick
All right,
did,
question.
you worship Jordan ain't gave you a dime for all this love you giving him.
Quick,
Did you get
quick,
a
quick,
letter from Jordan yet? Did
quick
Jordan
question.
tell you thank you for all the love that you giving him right now?
Hey,
It's
quick
quiet
question.
over there.
Hey,
did,
DC, I wanted to ask though. So, like, I know you said you mentioned something about hanging out. Now, when Jordan and Barkley were still playing, Barkley has an interview. I think he was talking to not Bill Simmons, Dan Lebitard. No, it wasn't Lebitard. I can't think of the guy's name, but you can YouTube Charles Barkley. And he stated that Michael Jordan told him to only take $1 million from his Nike contract and get the rest in stock points or stock options. And he said that actually benefited him in the long run because he didn't really understand how all that stuff worked back then, right? Because that's what Jordan essentially did. He took like the minimum amount of money and he took the rest in the stock points and the stock options. And now it's
I'm not
like,
disagreeing with you on that, but that's
mhm.
one event.
No,
See,
no, I know, I know. I was just
I'm
making that
saying
example
again,
though.
you could tell you watched a lot of videos where people talk of Jerry West, Dr. J, everybody. They'll be like, man, he's a great guy. We hang out, we hang out. Dog, I'm old enough to remember nobody liked Jordan as a person. This is the reason why the Detroit Pistons used to go so hard on
Why are
him.
we allowing
Jordan
this,
is a
man?
What?
great babasketball player.
Yo, guys,
did,
stop,
No,
man. Yo, don't
hey,
cut
hold
this
on,
dude off,
DC.
man.
did,
DC, him and
Dude's
Charles Oakley
talking about
always been
hanging
friends
out and
though.
No,
stuff,
him and
man.
Oakley
Even
Dude,
when he
chill
got
cool.
out.
traded to the
No,
This
Knicks.
dude is a client. He destroys the
did,
whole entire
the
live
point
stream.
I'm making, fellas,
You're
is
not making
you
a
have to,
point. Make it then.
dog, you got to understand,
Goodness.
Jordan ain't perfect. Everybody
Who cares?
knows Jordan
Nobody's
was not.
perfect. We haven't said Michael Jordan was perfect one time
Well,
on his whole
that's how
live
you
stream,
talk.
fool.
When you
What are you
talk,
saying?
when Sports and Fitness Rants talks, he talks like Jordan is God. He is the creator of the world.
Oh, so
He
now I'm
made
Well,
talking like he's
basketball.
God. Now we're talking like he's
gen,
DC.
God, or
gen,
I call
No,
him God.
DC.
gentlemen,
Respectfully, that's a straw man, bro. He never said that. That's a
No,
straw
he
Boy,
man.
yo,
didn't
gen,
use
DC,
those
you don't know
words,
the
but he
game,
used those
fool. You out
terms.
here talking about Michael Jordan's
I
not
know,
liked
but
by
you're
nobody,
distorting his
and then you
words,
say
though.
it's not personal. You never have any question to ask. You never have anything factual to say. You just come in and hear yourself talk. That's literally what you do. You come in for a platform to yap, and Dart lets you do this nonsense. It's terrible what you
Listen,
do,
dog.
man. You jack the
Listen,
whole live stream
listen,
up. No
listen.
one
Let me
respects
tell you
you.
something.
Look at the chat,
I
man.
keep
No
telling
one
you,
likes
Michael
you.
Jordan is.
Look at
I'm
the
a
chat.
fan of Michael Jordan.
Look at
How
the
many
chat,
times do you
fool.
got? Are you not going
Everyone
to
knows
accept
you're a
that part?
stuttering, bumbling
I am a
gen,
idiot.
fan. I am not going to worship Michael Jordan as a person. You can take that how you want to take it, bro.
Yo, hang
All
up
right.
on the dude. It's
I
over,
told you
man.
he's
We have to
1 and
understand
2.
him. Why is he
All right.
here?
Yeah.
So if you can't roll with that,
The-
then you need to go find a life, dog.
the-
Just because I don't worship him like you do, man. Come on, man. What are you talking about? Don't be all on YouTube
the-
trying to be fake famous if you ain't gonna keep it real. Come on, man. You doing this for clicks. That's why you yelling. You just like Stephen A. Smith. Chill,
DC,
man. I'm
No,
out of
but the
here, man.
facts are,
Hey,
hold on. The fact
DC,
is
don't worry.
this.
I won't check into this
Michael
show
Jordan has
no more.
donated more
I'll
money
make
to
sure
the
I
Make-A-Wish
subscribe to
Foundation
this
than
show,
any
and I
other
won't
person
listen
in
to
the
this
history of
show
the
no
world.
more because y'all
He's
got this
donated
fucking
more money than
clown
anyone
on here.
else. But
Peace, man.
DC Slim don't know that because he don't want to know these things. He talks about Michael Jordan ain't do nothing for jails. What are you talking about? You sound like an idiot. Once again, you're misinformed.
all right.
Wait a minute. They brought up the jails. Yo, that's a Michael Jordan from Portland, Oregon. Like, Michael Jordan is not the only person with that name. Like, just a simple Google research can verify that.
Real fast, DC Slim, thank you for calling. And Roland, you're on here, and I saw that you did a
Thank
super
you.
chat. I went to the bathroom real fast.
We're not thanking him.
What's that? Hello, Roland, are you there?
Did his mic go out?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, what's up? What's up, Roland Curtis?
What's up, you guys? So,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Do you want to address this? Well, real fast. Thank you for the super chat. 2, if you're on Robin's channel and you'd like to call in, you have to come to my channel, unfortunately, to click the link. If you're interested in calling in. DC Slim, thank you for calling in. I apologize if things got heated, but thank you for calling anyway. Roland Curtis, what's up, man?
Yeah, I was just my super chat was just saying that I don't know how that guy DC says that he loves Michael Jordan. Every show he comes on YouTube is just to say the worst things about Michael Jordan, and then he lies about Kobe Bryant being better than Michael Jordan, and his arguments for Kobe being better are so horrible and weak. It's about, you ask him, why is Kobe better? Oh, he has better footwork. And so I've heard other Kobe fans do a lot better job in making Kobe look at least presentable to Michael Jordan. And that guy DC makes Kobe actually look worse because he can't come up with any real arguments for why he says Kobe's better. And he says he hates the statistics and he hates accomplishments, which is like one of the greatest and best and most objective measures that we use to judge these players. But, you know, and then when he goes for his arguments, he says like weak stuff like he has better footwork. So and then he comes on and says that he loves Michael Jordan. And every time I've heard him, it's always to say that Michael Jordan is God. I don't like how you guys treat him like that. And he was not that good. Nike made him and all that stuff. It's like a lot of stuff that guy DC says. You know, I wouldn't. If I was a Kobe Bryant, I don't think Kobe Bryant would want him defending him in any kind of argument for the GOAT. So I'll leave it at that. As far as today's subject, so I don't know if because I know the Last Dance was 4 years ago, and I didn't read Phil Jackson's book, but I don't know if anybody else remembers that MJ said that he got angry because Phil Jackson was giving Kerr weak foul calls, ticky-tack foul calls. So then he fouled him really hard, and so it was just a hard foul. So he doesn't go into context about what that was, but he says it was a hard foul. And then Steve Kerr is on The Last Dance saying that he got angry and he lost control because of that. And then Michael Jordan says he hit me first in the chest, and then obviously Michael Jordan retaliated with a punch to the face or something, or a slap to the face or something like that. So I don't know why people always jump to go, why did he hit Kerr? When to me it seemed like it was self-defense. After that, also wanted to say one thing about Michael Jordan. Okay, so I was born in the 80s, but when I look at Michael Jordan, and I've noticed this with people, because he was born in the 60s. I was born in Cali. He was born in the South, in North Carolina during the 60s, which was like, you can imagine how bad that was for a guy like him. There was even a story I remember reading about a white girl spitting on him, and he punched her. But I just think that Michael Jordan's humor was very different. He said in The Last Dance about the Republicans buy shoes too, about how that was somewhat of a joke, but also obviously it's a fact. There was the incident people always drag Jordan for with Scott Burrell, calling him the B word and calling him a hoe. That when you see that on The Last Dance, there's a clip right after that where Jordan is talking trash, just like a big brother, and Scottie Pippen and Scott Burrell are sitting next to him, like laughing and giggling like little girls, like, but they're like trying not to let him see that they're laughing. But to me, it just seems like Jordan will do things and say things that are partly humorous, and people, I think that Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Luke Longley are going to just take things out of context and make it look like he's like an evil guy who is just cold-blooded and is out to kill everybody. So I just wanted to bring that up. As far as a question for you guys, because you guys answered the thing about Steve Kerr and about Stephen Curry and LeBron James. So do you guys? Obviously you guys believe that no matter what anybody says on this tour, this No Bull tour, that it will never do anything to Michael Jordan's legacy. Michael Jordan will still be the greatest player ever. Do you guys think it's worth? Because I think the guy Rex said something about, oh yeah, people who like watching basketball or who know basketball knows that the guys did this and that, like Luke Longley and all that stuff. I mean, do you guys think that the Last Dance was fair? Do you think that Michael Jordan was wrong in anything that he released or didn't release? And I'll leave it at that.
All right. Let's switch up the order because Robin, yeah. So that happened earlier. Rex, you want to go first?
Well, I don't know. I didn't watch Last Dance, but I do know that Jordan did not direct it or edit it. So it's not what Jordan said. Everyone had their say. Cameras were on everybody. And then it was put together in a means to make money, which it did. So I don't know what to say.
Hoop God.
So hey, first off, hey, Roland Curtis, shout out to you, man. Keep cooking them jokers up in them comments. But as far as my take on The Last Dance, I mean, I loved it. I mean, like Rex said, Michael Jordan was not the director or the editor yet. You have people out here that will attempt to revise history and place that responsibility on him, much like you will have people like Scottie Pippen out here. Oh, like when you go back and look, oh, he's laughing it up and smiling, giggling, winning them championships. But now all of a sudden, Michael Jordan was just this horrible teammate. He was a tyrant, blase. I just say it's amazing how people will try to revise history now that we're in the age of social media. But another point that you brought up about the No Bull tour. The best analogy I can give that is like you're trying to throw dirt on a lion. That's not going to affect that lion not one bit, because where he's established in his career, where he's established in his accomplishment, he is literally unassailable. Now, what the other gentleman was speaking on about, quote unquote, people not liking Jordan, I mean, I don't understand. To me, that's a moot point because Michael Jordan does not care if you like him. He only wants to be respected. And he took his respect. He didn't ask for it like somebody else who had to win a Disney bubble tournament championship and I want my like, no. When you go out and you produce and you deliver the goods, that's where your respect comes from. That's where you get it. You earn it. Nobody's going to give you anything in this world, in this society that we live in. But unfortunately, that's what it's turned into. Everybody wants to be given things that they didn't earn. Michael Jordan earned his respect, just like Kobe Bryant earned his respect. But now it's like it's like the Mandela effect, but I think we've hit a 2.0 because now it's, you should just give me this. I deserve this. No, you go out there and you earn it. And that is what Michael Jordan did essentially. And for them to have this No Bull tour, whatever, like I said, it's a money grab, number one, but it's also an attempt to utilize a smear campaign that's really not gonna make any progress whatsoever, because no matter how many negative things is gonna be said, people who know better, you're not gonna convince them with chicanery and deceptive tactics to try to speak down on a guy that you were hugging and praising during your basketball championship. I mean, for crying out loud, Gilbert Arenas, to me, he makes some of the most asinine statements that you would believe a former player would say. Even he's not even sold on this. He's even said, wait a minute, you guys got 12 rings collectively and you're upset. What are you upset about? That's the same thing I ask. So this whole thing, like trying to spinoff from the Last Dance. Number one, money grab. Number two, a pathetic attempt at a smear campaign.
Yeah, I don't think Michael Jordan specifically went and was targeting these guys. And I don't think he said anything personal outside of basketball. He just gave his perspectives. They were asking him questions, and they had old film, throughout the 90s, and everything that they covered in the documentary focused on the 1998 season. And I don't think that he specifically was saying, hey, I think, Scottie Pippen is the worst guy I've ever met. I don't think he's ever said that, or any of the other guys, in respect to, and that I don't ever want to, I hate the worst for his children and whatever extremeness. What I got out of it is that they were asking him questions, like both of you had talked about, the direction and the editing. They were just asking him questions about basketball and what he felt about his time during the Bulls runs. I mean, I think it was as simple as that. Could he have said things nicer or been less candid about things? Possibly.
F all that. No, we don't want to hear no nice. Speak the truth.
No, but that's the point, is that
Yeah.
the whole thing was made for entertainment value.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not like
yeah.
they're trying to sell tickets on it. So Michael Jordan's not going to go above and beyond and over the top, because he's not that kind of guy. But he, when you ask him a question, he seems like it's the kind of guy that's going to tell you the truth too. So, yeah, I don't think he did anything crazy personally. What do you got to say, Robin?
Listen, obviously Michael Jordan could have, given these guys a little more love. Yeah, he could have done that. But like I said early in the beginning, what are they mad about? They're mad at that they didn't get the same level of attention that Michael Jordan got. I mean, that would be like saying, how come my autographs aren't worth the same? Oh, no one's asking me for my autograph. How come no one's buying the Luke Longley worn final sneakers on auction for $10 billion? No one's doing this. No one's buying Scottie Pippen worn jerseys for record-setting money, or Horace Grant. People don't even remember Horace Grant, man. They don't even remember him. They don't remember any of these guys, man. This is why they had to make themselves relevant. So yes, absolutely, Michael Jordan could have gave them more quote-unquote shine in the documentary, but the documentary was not meant to give the other guys shine. It was meant to highlight what the Bulls as a whole were going through, and Michael Jordan was the leader. So once again, what are we talking about here? We're upset because Michael Jordan was getting all of the credit. It really makes no sense, man. They make no sense. Yes, Michael Jordan could have done it a little bit differently, but was he wrong? Was the documentary bad? No, it was great. It's the highest rated documentary in like sports history or whatever, man. Because at the end of the day, what I always tell you guys it's always about the facts. The documentary had it wasn't made up. It wasn't a fictional documentary. Everything in there was factual. It may not have happened exactly the way that some people remembered it from their point of view. Those things are never going to be 100. Everyone views things from different lenses. But the reality was what happened. Scottie Pippen's mad because Michael Jordan blasted him or put him out there for not going into the game against the New York Knicks. Let's be real. That's why he's upset. He's also mad because Michael Jordan called him selfish for waiting to get the foot surgery. But at the end of the day, those were factual things. Scottie Pippen intentionally did those things to sabotage the Bulls. So if he did that all these years later, now he don't want to take the consequences for his actions. It doesn't make any sense, man. So yes, he could have gave them shine, but once again, Michael Jordan's not fake. Everything he does is for a reason. And Scottie Pippen can't be mad or act as if anything was a lie. There was no lies in that documentary.
Real fast, Roland, and everyone else. If you want to call in and you're coming from another channel, you have to come to my channel to click the link. I know I said a little earlier, but I just want to reiterate that. So just click the link, and you'll be able to join, or you can come onto my channel, click the link, or you can copy paste it or what have you. You don't have to subscribe to my channel if you don't like what I got to say, but if you do, please do.
Can I say something real quick for 2 seconds?
Yeah, sure.
I saw some people in the chat. I'm on the chat right now, man. But I saw some people in there talking about 50-win teams and the 90s. Once again, .com doesn't know anything about the history, man. .com, go do your research, man. When you talk about the 90s and the teams and the wins and all this nonsense, there were more 60-win teams in the 90s than any other era in the history of the NBA. Go check the stats, all right? more 60-win teams in the 90s. The 90s, my man, all right, had 19 60-win teams in the 90s. I believe the 2000s had 15. There were also more 55-plus win teams in the 90s than any other history in the NBA, every era of the NBA's history. So when you throw out those numbers about 50-win teams, Michael Jordan beat more 60-win teams in the 90s than any player in the history of the NBA. So .com, once again, you're throwing out 50 wins in the 90s, or the 90s wasn't that great. Go check and do your homework. You obviously, I don't know how old you are, but you're an idiot.
Hey, let me speak on that too, Robin, because he keep talking about illegal defense, and I notice people have tried to contort this into their own reality. The fundamental principles of the illegal defense was to stop people from camping out underneath the goal and not committing to somebody, okay? I don't know where you guys get this false information and try to present it like you've watched it. Clearly, you have not watched one single clip of 90s basketball. Prime example, go watch the Detroit Pistons versus the Utah Jazz and watch how Bill Laimbeer did not commit and got bumped with an illegal defensive call, because if the basketball is on the perimeter, you cannot sit there and just camp out. You must commit to somebody. Now, once you drive the lane, you're allowed to collapse. That's what you guys always omit. That's how I know y'all don't even watch 90s basketball. And to what Robin said as well, the most 50-win teams in that era is what Michael Jordan went up against in the dead ball era, where you had to have that mid-range game in your package, because once again, like you guys love to bring up illegal defense, once you drive and collapse the lane, the center and the power forward could wait for you and could be an impediment to stop you from getting to the goal. So please use the correct terminology when you make these asinine statements, because you're only embarrassing yourselves. Thank you for that, Dart.
Absolutely. Roland, nobody else is calling in. And so if you want
can I say one more thing?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
I'm sorry. I'm going crazy right now, man. I'm sorry, dog, man. Forgive me, man. You know,
no, you're good,
boy,
man.
I love you guys, man. All right. I must continue to educate. This guy.com, dude, you keep moving the goalposts. Now you bring up the wins for the teams when Kobe and them was playing, right? The other eras. But then when I give you the facts, now you're saying it's a league where it was a watered down expansion era. So you're going to tell me that the 2000s Eastern Conference was a powerhouse? No, we've always talked about how weak the Eastern Conference was, man. So you're talking about all the wins that these teams were getting was against these garbage teams, man, in the Eastern Conference. That's why the West was stacking up wins in those mid to late 2000s into the early 2010s, because the Eastern Conference was a joke. A joke. The best team was who? The stacked Miami Heat, and you had Paul George, my Indiana Pacers. Who was in the 2000 East? Who? The Jason Kidd New Jersey Nets were the team, right? Then you had who? The Detroit Pistons for 1 or 2 years. There was no teams like that, man. So all these wins you keep talking about, once again, you've exposed yourself, man.
Worst NBA teams post-merger. The Charlotte Bobcats, 2012, 7-59. Philadelphia 76ers, 2016.
You don't say that.
10-72. My bad, Dart. Shout out to Philly. The New Jersey Nets, 2010, 12-70. The Atlanta Hawks, 2005, 13-69. The Chicago Bulls, 2001, 15-67. Now, granted, that was before 2003, but of the top 10, these guys are in whose era? Because nobody in the top 10 is in Michael Jordan's Eastern Conference. Worst NBA regular season from post-expansion era. Thank you for that, Dart.
Yeah. Yeah, Roland, you gotta, if you want, you can ask another question.
Sure.
Because we don't have anybody else calling in, and then after that, we'll shut it down.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I wanted to respond to what that guy DC was saying about because I was born in the 80s. I could tell by how he sounds. He was born before me, and he's older than me. And he said that he remembers back in the days people didn't like Michael Jordan, but from when I started watching basketball, I mean, I could just use use a logical sense that if so many people didn't like Michael Jordan, why would this like multi-billion-dollar company make a commercial called like Mike, where it shows all these little kids and adults trying to be like Michael Jordan? Now, if you fast forward to today, I would think even DC would not make a commercial about like LeBron. I would think that even anybody would know that it's possible that might not do so well, or that might not do so well to endorse a product. Unlike with Michael Jordan, he said that Detroit beat up on him because everybody hated him. I thought Detroit beat up on him because everybody loved him. and Isaiah Thomas. You know, it's funny because Isaiah Thomas is somebody who's also said that thing about Michael Jordan is not my God. Like, why would you say that if you love, like that guy DC was saying, you love Michael Jordan? We know that Isaiah Thomas can't stand Michael Jordan, and he's the only person I've ever heard him say on TV, Michael Jordan is not my God, because he just hates how much people love him, and that's why they beat up on him so much. That's why they try to stop him. And I just want to say about Michael Jordan, his career was so perfect almost that even his losses were just so nice, because you know he when he lost to Detroit and he lost to Orlando, he got the last laugh on both of them by sweeping both of them, and they never met each other again in the playoffs. Even when you know, Bird beat up on the baby Bulls, the only thing we ever talk about is the 63. We don't even talk about. I don't even know how many points Larry Bird ever scored in any of those games. I just know Jordan scored 49 in game one, and then Jordan scored the 63. I don't even know much about the other series. It's like Michael Jordan's, like, even his losses. The only thing I don't ever like to talk about is the Washington Wizards. But as a Bull, he was just on point. Both, even his losses, because he overcame them, and he, you know, it just. And then, you know, and then somebody's beating you in the playoffs twice, like Bird did, but then he's gonna call you. He thinks that your God just disguises Michael Jordan. It's like, I'll take that, you know. And that's all. That's another thing that everybody remembers about their whole series. It's just the Larry Bird quote. Jordan scored 63, and then I learned later on that he scored 49. But that's all anybody ever remembers. So it's like even his losses are kind of legendary, and they make him look good, you know. I would also like to say that the reason, so they're going to back to the topic of the video. So the No Bull tour. So they're going into Australia, and I'm trying to figure out why. Some people said, you know, maybe Jordan, is there some kind of legal issue, or maybe Jordan can shut it down in the United States, or maybe it's because they can they have more leeway with the media, because it was over here in the U.S. and I had a credential and I was media. I would ask Scotti Pippen first, if Jordan was the devil, why did you beg this man to save your charity event, to play in your charity event? If Jordan was so evil, why did you put your Michael Jordan Air Jordan shoes to the camera and tell this guy to come back when he was playing baseball? He left you alone. He left you to do what you want with the team. He was such a tyrant, and here you are on the bench, probably winning the game. On the bench, you get a camera, and in your mind is thinking about Michael Jordan. Let me put his own shoe up, promote his shoe, and tell him, please come back. We need your help. And then you couldn't even get to the finals without him. And then I would ask him, if Michael Jordan was like the worst person in the world, why did you beg him to induct you into the Hall of Fame? Like, you think Jordan wanted to like coming out? He doesn't even like coming out. He's like Bruce Wayne in the Batcave. He doesn't want to come out. He came out for Kobe because he loved Kobe that much, and because Kobe passed away. And he came out for Scottie Pippen, like, and then he did the Luke Longley documentary. The guy doesn't even want to be bothered. You know, the GOAT conversation, we care about it as fans. The media cares about it as media. Players care about it as players. Even LeBron James cares about it. Michael Jordan, in my opinion, I think Michael Jordan doesn't care 2 bits about the GOAT conversation. He could care less. And okay, so as far as the Last Dance, so yeah, I don't know. I thought, to my knowledge, Michael Jordan at least has some say on what was released in the Last Dance.
Oh yeah, sure, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, because for instance, we didn't see that Horace Grant story on the Last. That came out later. So I can assume that maybe Michael Jordan would not want that out there. But again, so I want to ask you guys about this. I really feel like, so he says, the story goes that, hey, don't give him any food on the airplane. Don't give him any food because he didn't play good. I'm trying to figure out, is that Jordan joking or partly joking? Because that sounds like the kind of humor he used with the Republican shoes and with the other things he says. Like, but see, the thing is that we don't know the context, so it's gonna make Jordan look like a tyrant. And if I was Jordan, I would say, you know what, they're not gonna get it. No matter, even I tell them that the Republican shoe comment was partly humorous, but because it's his kind of humor, it's also a fact too. It's like it's a combination of humor and reality, so people don't get that, and so that's why even with the telling Horace Grant to not get food from the stewardess, I want to ask you guys, what do you think about that incident? Do you think it's as bad as we're getting it from? And what do you think about what do you know about Jordan's humor and about his personality with his humor, the comments about the Republicans and shoes and all that stuff? What do you think about the whole Horace Grant incident?
Rex, what's your take if you have one?
Is Mike muted?
Your mic's muted if he might be talking to his.
Well, I'm unmuted, but I really don't have much to say anyway. Nothing y'all want to hear anyway.
How about that?
So I got no idea what he's talking about with the Horace Grant story. Have no idea.
Yeah. Hey, pass it to me, Rex.
Nah, just pass it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all you, man.
Hey,
Let me just say real quick. So the story. So after the Last Dance came out, I think a biographer, I think the guy that wrote the Jordan Rules book, he came out and said that
Sam Smith.
Yeah, Sam Smith. Right. There was an incident where after a game, Horace Grant played so bad that Michael Jordan was upset, and they got on boarded a plane to go to another city, and Michael Jordan told the stewardess, to not feed Horace Grant. Everybody was getting their food, and he said no food for him because he only had so much points in the game and he played bad. And at least I think, from what I understand, Horace Grant said that no, he did step up to Michael Jordan in that incident, and he did get food. But I just wanted to bring that to you guys because I believe Michael Jordan was upset of how Horace Grant played, and that. But I still believe that there was some kind of partly joking kind of thing. But he wanted to let Horace Grant know that, hey, I'm serious, that you played that bad, that I wouldn't. I'm kind of hoping that you not eating it will be a way to discipline you. But yeah. So what do you guys think about the incident, and what do you think about if you think there's any kind of humor in some of these things that Jordan says?
So that.
Or Rex, you.
Oh, fans kill me, man. Fans just freaking kill me. All right, Jordan is not Grant's daddy. Grant is a grown man. Jordan was not flying the plane. Jordan does not own the team. Jordan is not the coach. Is Jordan making a comment? It's not like Horace Grant isn't allowed to eat until Michael Jordan says so. Would y'all please just grow the hell up? My God. All right. So much of that rant was so wrong and so fanboy driven. I mean, there's a guy that me and Dart used to follow that you are the wet dream epitome of what he calls a Jordan fan. I mean, sorry to be so harsh, but
is he talking to me?
Damn.
No, just
yeah.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Are you drunk?
My God.
Are you drunk?
No, but you are.
I'm ranting. I'm retelling you what the story was. Are you insane?
Hey, can I chime in on that?
Evidently, I am. Bro, because that's just utterly ridiculous in every way. Horace Grant couldn't eat because Michael Jordan said don't feed him because he had a bad game.
I didn't create that story.
So are we supposed to assume that Horace Grant, the professional basketball player, is not aware when he's having a subpar game?
What do you think? What are you talking about, fanboy? This? You think you're not a fan? You're not special, bro. You didn't play in the league. We're trying to respect you as an older guy. You are a damn fan. Stop trying to act like you're some special. Listen, so the last time you said, "Oh, what do you do to watch the basketball?" I said, "Okay, yeah, I just watched it for the stats or whatever." You said, "Oh, you must watch the ball." I don't watch the ball. I'm so special. I watch everybody else. I told you. Listen, there's no reason to do that because everybody's standing around. What do you do when you and Dart come and you do your basketball review? Oh, I didn't know about that. It seems like everybody's standing around. Humble yourself, dude. Come on. We're trying to respect you as an older guy. Just humble yourself just a little bit. I didn't make up that story. I don't know why. How can I retell a story that's been on the news and that's me ranting? I'm retelling. What is a retelling? A rant. What's wrong with you? Thank you. I'm sorry to do that, guys. Sorry.
All right. Well, we can go back to the other minutia of what you said about, well, why did he go to Jordan to help with his charity game if he hates Jordan? Because it's money. It's publicity.
Bro,
just like their tour. It's about money. It's not about who they're friends and boys with. It's not, oh, everyone loves this person or everyone hates this person. You're combining things that happen 30 years apart, like I always say about fans, is you have no sense of chronology. You're talking about why did he point at his shoe?
How did that do chronology? That's timing. What do you think? I don't know what that word means?
Hey, Dog, you got 1,000 messages.
No, chronology. I said it in order too. I said the
they're all .com and nonsense.
Hey,
wait. He said chronology. I mentioned the charity first, purposely, because that happened chronological order. Then I mentioned that he told Scottie Pippen he told Michael Jordan to come back with the shoe. Then he asked him to induct him into the Hall of Fame. What you saying that he did it for money doesn't explain anything. What is wrong with? I'm trying to say why did he
money explains everything. That's why you're poor.
Wow.
Okay, when you figure that out, let me know.
Wow. Okay.
This is all about money.
Oh,
all of it.
So now you
all
want
of it
finances.
is about money.
Can I chime?
Bro, I'm not gonna come on here to brag about money or education or anything like that. But you're old and you're delusional. You know.
Yep.
People let you get away with things because you're old.
Absolutely.
You guys are
absolutely.
You guys are fans. I'm Michael. No basketball player would ever give credit to anything you're saying. I'd rather listen to Stephen A. Smith than listen to you. Okay. So your credibility. Okay. Your credibility is just as
and yet you're listening to me and responding.
It's on equal plane. You're responding to my question. What are you talking about?
You asked me the question, moron.
I didn't ask you.
You called in and asked us the question.
Listen, you idiot. Listen, you old idiot. You are so out of touch. You are so delusional.
Completely.
Yeah, you
completely.
Said,
absolutely.
Hey, watch everybody else.
I'm in my
spaceship
right now.
The ball. That's how you watch the
I don't watch anyone. Listen, what are you talking about?
You idiot. We have our main focus and we have a peripheral. What we do is we focus on the ball and we use our peripheral to watch everybody else, you stupid idiot. We don't have to put our whole focus on people who don't have the ball. You have your vision.
That's why I know how to play and you don't.
Divided. Bo, in your best years, you would have never beat me one-on-one in basketball. You would never have played better than me. There's no way.
What happened here?
Okay.
What's going on?
Okay.
No. I mean, this guy.
Colin is just.
Everybody's
just sweating
to basketball analysis.
Although I do have to admit, you did check off every fanboy cliche in that entire rant.
I'm retelling. I retold. Listen, this is what happened.
Did we answer the question?
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to get to it. So, Roland, this is what I wanted to respond to what you said. So you got to understand when you investigate Michael Jordan's background, he was always known as being witty and clever and just saying certain things. Now, what I believe Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen are attempting to do is it's a term called gaslighting. Like when Michael Jordan said, "Hey, Republican by sneak," he didn't get on no stage and in front of an audience and say, "Hey, guess what? Republicans by." No, they're on the freaking bus. And they wanted him to endorse the Harvey Gantt guy, but Michael Jordan has been on record of saying he's nonpartisan. He doesn't get into politics. So when they're having this discussion, he's like, why would I jeopardize my bottom dollar? Hell, Republicans buy sneakers too. Like, so you kind of see how it was said, right? Now, what Rex was also saying, and I think Dart and Robin mentioned this, Horace Grant is a grown-ass man. There's no other man that's going to stop you from eating. Now, if you played bad, I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan's like, hey, stewardess, don't feed him because he played bad. Does anybody detect anything vitriolic or tyrant? No, he's just saying the dude didn't play good. Don't feed him. I bet you Horace Grant still ate. But see, he will omit that, which is another form of lying. Let's get to Scottie Pippen. So they were on the elevator and Pippen was all, "Hey, come on, guys, bring your A game." Michael Jordan said, bring your A game. How about y'all just bring a game? Witty, joking banter. See, but now what they're attempting to do is try to gaslight Michael Jordan's words. For what? Clickbait, for money. Because again, like Rick said, it's all about the bottom dollar. We live in a capitalist society, and unfortunately, you got people out here.
No. It's not what I said. I'm freaking delusional, dude.
Listen to the chat. Everybody's saying that the idiot on the top, the upper right-hand corner,
everybody in the chat, so that must be reality.
Thank you for understanding my question. Me retelling it. This idiot at the top right corner, he thinks that I was actually coming up with that, and that was a rant. How do you retell? Yeah. How do you retell something, a fact that somebody else said, and that's a rant?
Right, and Roland, that's what I was doing. I was giving more insight on the whole ordeal, how it all played up. Yeah. So, but that's what they're doing. They're gaslighting. Like they're trying to manipulate what Jordan said back then and to blow it up into something that it was never ever a part of. And again, that's why I say what they're doing. They're making themselves look bad because now they're trying to retell all these events that was nowhere near the magnitude that they're trying to spin it off as. And it's just pathetic at this point because it's like, bro, if y'all are struggling financially, hey, Mike, look, man, Can you just bring me on Jordan Brand? Or, hey, let me be a part of the coaching staff. So no. See, they can't humble themselves. A term that you just used. They can't humble themselves enough to go that route with decorum tact. So no, I would say toxic feminine like qualities to try to tear a man down and to try to tarnish his name, which ultimately is going to make them look worse on the back end, because now you're trying to utilize a smear campaign for a man that helped you get to this land of being a champion. Like you would, none of those guys would be champions had they not played with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan got the best out of them in their careers, and now it's like they're just ungrateful and they want to say, yeah, we're going to talk bad about Michael Jordan, but y'all weren't upset when y'all were raising up those trophies. So
the for me, I think that the Horace Grant story, one thing that I agree that if Horace Grant wanted to eat, he was going to eat, but there's this other aspect of it. There's consent to being like, okay, well, Michael Jordan is the team captain. I did bad. I don't know what this is the first time I think I've heard the story before, but I don't know the details of it. But it's something that he might not have eaten because he actually bought in and said, okay, well, I didn't do well. It doesn't mean that he didn't have the option to do it. He just consented and said, okay, I sucked. Let me do this for the team, or not specifically even Michael Jordan. So that could have been something that happened with that. I don't know the story in detail, but I think that could have been an option as well. Or he could have ate and it could have just been a statement, whatever. I don't know what happened.
He definitely ate. He just going to omit that.
Yeah. And even if he didn't eat, why is he telling that story if he consented not to eat? Because like we're saying, like he could have got something to eat if he really wanted to. He's not in a constrained legal environment where he can't have these, choices or whatever. Mm-hmm. But with the humor thing, Michael Jordan, the way I understand it, even when he was coming into the league, reading some of these old articles I've been reading lately, is he was the picture perfect guy to market. And like you guys are saying, he was funny. He was able to talk on the mic. He was able to do a lot of things, even though he wasn't necessarily, maybe in respect of maybe a comedian or a talk show host. Maybe he didn't have those qualities of being entertaining, but he was well-spoken. He went to a very good college. He was able to go and talk the game and talk to everybody. He had a relative amount of education. So with the humor and the wit, talking about, the Republicans' shoes and all of that, amongst other things. Yeah, I think he was funny. I mean, I think he is funny because, he just lets this stuff happen. And, all he does is sit back and listen to people say his name all the time. Even including us to a certain respect, but especially with the negative stuff. I think it's hilarious. I think he's hilarious. Robin, what's your take?
Well, man, this live stream has gone so crazy. We've been all over the place. The chat, I don't even know what's going on in the chat. Some of these guys are saying crazy things. But when we think about this whole thing, man, I think the most important thing for me is that the reason why this was a big deal, as far as like for me wise, is because once again, it's about the facts. It's about the truth. So when we talk about the Horace Grant stories, these are all stories that get embellished, right? They get exaggerated over the years and stuff like that. These are not factual, things. When we talk about Michael Jordan in the beginning of this live stream, I said the important thing is that these guys are trying to make it seem as if they make Michael Jordan out to be a bad person, a bad guy. He wasn't nice to them. That all of a sudden, everyone's going to have an epiphany and be like, oh my God, you know what? Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, Luke Long, you're right. Michael Jordan is this horrible person. He's not the greatest basketball player of all time now. All of a sudden, we're going to start giving them more credit for playing with Michael Jordan, right? Oh my God. But now I told you what it really ends up doing is exposing them once again as, like I said, very feminine and worried about their feelings, acting as if they deserve as much credit as Michael Jordan does, when we know that's not true. And it also tears them down because now we must highlight their careers and we must knock them down a couple of pegs back down to reality. So that's the main thing for me, to understand that this is not factual. If they want to have their opinions and their views on Michael Jordan personally, that's great, fine. But it will never dispute from the facts that they got where they were because of Michael Jordan. All right? Those are the facts there, man. He got more out of them than they could have gotten in any other team. Because like I pointed out in several of my videos, Michael Jordan played with multiple guys, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys that played minutes, significant minutes in playoff games and in the NBA Finals that were journeymen and role players, man. Guys like Cliff Livingston, Craig Hodges, Judd Bushler, and Bob Hansen, right? Bill Wennington and Will Perdue and Stacey King and Scott Williams, right? And Randy Brown and Dickie Simpkins. All of these guys played minutes in playoff games and in the finals, right? They were on the team. Those are the guys that we're always talking about made Michael Jordan made better, right? And the main thing here at the end of the day, when it comes to this tour, we must understand something. These guys, right, with Michael Jordan and this stuff, man, none of this stuff is true. And when we talk about Michael Jordan, always gave them their credit. They're acting as if they did not get any credit from Michael Jordan. They're making it personal. If they want to say they didn't get credit from the media, from the press, the newspapers, the magazines, you know, commercials, they didn't get the endorsements, okay, they could be upset about those things. That has nothing to do with Michael Jordan. Literally nothing to do with him. He thanked them. He did everything in his power to make them feel appreciated, to help Scottie Pippen feel like that little brother, like he was equal, which is why he put his arm around him and said, "You're my MVP, dog." No one else has done this. No one's done these kinds of things and said that for their teammate right on camera. So when we talk about these things, we must remember Michael Jordan gave these guys their credit.
All right. RC, do you have any last words before we start shutting this down?
No, I just want to thank you, Dart. Thank you, Hoop God and Robin, for understanding the question and
much respect to you, Roland, man. Much respect, man. I'm truly humbled by your support, man. Thank you very much, man.
Keep cooking them jokers in the comments.
I just wanted to say, you know, an example of Michael Jordan's humor and how I think the Republican shoe comment was made, and also the "don't give Horace Grant food" comment was made. A perfect example of Michael Jordan's humor was, if you remember, in February of 2020, when just about a month or so after Kobe Bryant passed away, when Michael Jordan was on the stage and he was crying, and then he said the comment about the crying meme, and then he even got Vanessa crying. I mean, he got Vanessa laughing. The entire arena was laughing at the Staples Center, but at the same time, you know that Michael Jordan is probably serious, that he doesn't really like that crying meme. But at the same time, it's still a joke, so it's not so serious where he's going to try to get it removed from the internet or anything like that. But it's like a combination of him. He's serious, but then at the same time, it's a joke. I don't think it's called wry humor, but
I thought he said it was the world's greatest meme too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. And then when they panned the crowd, you know, you saw Steph Curry. Everyone was so sad up to that moment, and Steph Curry busted out laughing. Vanessa started laughing. You know, Michael Jordan it was like such a perfect joke at that moment. And it's like, it shows you how he could, in a serious moment, he could say something that was serious, but at the same time, humorous. And I think that's how, you know, that's how a lot of his jokes are, just like you guys mentioned about game and things like that. So anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for understanding. And I'm sorry that I had to finally respond, but I think it needed to be said. Anyway, you guys have a nice day. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Roland. Thank you for your support and super chats again. I appreciate I appreciate all of that. Thank you very much.
Indeed.
Yeah. So this was a very, very heated call-in show at the end of it. That was I think this is the most heated it's ever been. But anyway, I think we should all I mean it was fun either way. You guys for everybody that's watching, if you like anyone else that you haven't been familiar with, go check out their channels and subscribe to them. There's HoopGod23 is at DeJuan Sanders at YouTube. Rex is at Politicus Rex but you'll find it there. Sports and Fitness Rants, and then I'm at Michael Jordan Fans Are the Best. Starting with you, Robin. You have any last words for everyone?
Absolutely. Hold on a second here, man. 2 seconds. I'm going to go real quick. .com, you're a moron. This dude, he says it's good to see middle-aged men not be able to control their emotions. You stayed during the entire live stream. .com. You are a weirdo. You're a stalker, man. Think about that. You stayed for the entire live stream. You're a weirdo, man. Once again, don't I see a bunch of grown men being emotional on TV with Cat Williams and all these guys? I see grown-ups on NBA wearing dresses to games. I see LeBron James carrying a purse, but you're talking about us. You sound like a fool. I haven't heard you say anything. Once again, let me know when you make a video. .com and tag me in it, man. Everybody in the chat, much respect to all my people out there, man. It was a great time once again, guys. You know this No Bull Tour is a bunch of nonsense. These guys really believe they didn't get the shine that they deserved, man. It's insane.
All right, Rex, what do you got to say?
Get off my lawn.
Well said. I think that's all right. Hoop God, what do you got to say to everyone?
Oh man, hey Rex, this was another great show. I made sure I stayed throughout the long haul on this one because I had to leave last week. But no, man, I enjoyed the dialogue. Yeah, it did get a little spicy, man, but I enjoyed it for the most part. Shout out to Roland in the comments and all them other jokers that don't like this channel. Like Robin said, why are you here? Because clearly you love this channel because you can't leave and you stay for the entire 2 hours and 15 minutes. So clearly what Dart made Michael Jordan fans are the best is resonating profoundly.
Yep. And thank you all, appreciators, haters, supporters, all the classifications of who you are in the comments. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you all. I think this is great.
Right.
Please, if you have anybody you'd like to see on the show that is also a YouTuber, call them out. Tell them to come out here. Have them call in, and you can email me. Let them know. Let me know who you're thinking about, or you can go on some of my community posts and do that. But let them know. They're trying to make this the greatest Michael Jordan fan page live stream on the internet. The Avengers is Eagle tripping and saying, yeah, we got to start doing some more Avengers polls. I haven't done any. Rex says he's not an Avenger because he's not a Michael Jordan fan. So
no, Rex is Nick Fury.
I'm Nick Fury.
Oh, you're Nick Fury. My bad. No.
I'm the one that's
My
getting everyone
apologies.
together.
You are Nick Fury. My apologies.
I don't do superheroes, so sorry, I can't help y'all on this one. I got no idea who y'all are talking about.
Yeah. We'll do a poll for Hoop God next.
I'm a grown man. I don't play with superheroes.
Yeah. All right.
Superheroes are adults.
Very true. Very true.
Anyway, thank you all for coming. Thanks, Robin. Thanks, Rex. Thanks to Hoop God and everybody in chat yet again. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, rest of your weekend, and your week goes well. And everyone, Michael Jordan fans,